Okay, here we go. We're live, guys. What's up? What's up? We're going to switch quickly to the main screen, right? We're going to be looking at DWAC stock today. We've got a lot of interesting developments with it. We have obviously shot up massively during after hours and in the pre-market. And hello to the first viewer and the only person watching the stream right now. So thank you for liking it. We've got 2 likes now, so obviously DWAC has been halted right now. We're just waiting for this to resume trading. It looks like a circuit breaker went off at 9:32, so maybe in another 4 minutes, I think we should be unhalted, ready to start trading again. And we're just going to be doing some live trading. You guys can see so far, our profit on the day is $13,000, just about, not $12,960 on DWAC. We have 150 shares that we've been holding since yesterday. We bought in around $23 right here. Once I saw we broke through the $20 level so easily and so quickly, I decided, that this was something worth jumping in on. And I also was doing some calculations regarding the market cap of this stock, which we will look at later today, right? Once this thing really starts trading, we'll start looking at the market cap and the possibilities for where it could go in the future, right? Like, what's the top price? That's what a lot of people are interested in for DWAC. And let me pull over the Ortex data. It's actually kind of interesting. How many we got? We got 16 people watching right now. So if you guys could all like the stream, that would help get it out to more people. That would be much appreciated. But right here, you can see the Ortex data for DWAC, and you can see that very few people are shorting this thing, all right? Shorts are horrified of this stock because yesterday, when we looked at it in our video, it was up. The short interest was up about 300-something%. Now it's up about 3%. I think because shorts realize this thing could really run, and any shorts they cut in yesterday got burned today. Shorts probably had to close their positions. So very bullish what we're seeing short interest-wise, right? It's unlikely, in my opinion, that shorts are going to be coming in anytime soon. I don't think shorts are going to want to get tangled in with DWAC stock. And we are going to be talking about DWAC for the most part today, right? That's what we're mostly going to be covering, just because this is such a monumental run-up in price, and especially at market open. I mean, that's pretty incredible, right? We opened, just a couple minutes before open, we were down below $100. Now we're at 131 just in a couple of minutes. So really incredible stuff that we're seeing with that. We'll also be taking a look at Phun stock, PHUN, because this stock ran up massively in pre-market today, and just early morning trading, it was also halted. So PHUN and DWAC have both been halted because they've just been too volatile, right? They hit the circuit breakers. We're waiting. It'll probably just be a couple more minutes before these end up pumping again. So let's see. We got some comments here. Make stocks great again. Yep, that's that's what we're trying to do. So as soon, don't forget about Phun connected and pumping too. Yep, we just talked about that. And soon they will dump them. I don't know. I mean, maybe Phun, right? Phun is up on, I think, some news about them acquiring some kind of company, right? I didn't look too much into this, right? I just heard about this stock a couple of minutes ago, added it to the watch list. But DWAC really seems to have a strong bull case over the long term. And we're going to do some math later to just kind of analyze where it could possibly be going, right? Just based off of how many people might be buying it, and not necessarily looking at the company fundamentally. We're just going to look at it based off of how many people might buy it perspective stock-wise, almost like a cryptocurrency, right? How much demand is there going to be for the stock? So more of a short to mid-term analysis of where it could be going. Let's see. We really want this to get unhalted here. That would be nice. And let's actually add in a couple of grids for us. There we go. So we'll add DWAC up here. We can watch a couple of them at once. And PHUN got right here. And then we'll look at, let's look at BBIG just because I haven't looked at what that was doing. All right, we did break below 570. That's not what we want to see with BBIG. We actually used it as resistance once we broke below. So looks like we may be heading to 5. Hopefully we won't be breaking through that today. And what do we want? Not the dollar. We don't want to watch the dollar. Let's look at the SPY. Let's just see what the markets are doing. Markets are up 0.2%. That's nice. And it looks like trading has been unhalted on Phun. So we are pumping up pretty massively still, right? This might get halted again. 16.5. Wow. Look at CEI, please. All right, we'll replace SPY as CEI. How about that? CEI is bouncing off the $1.40. So yeah, CEI is doing what it should be doing, right? It's bouncing in between these ranges. we're still just waiting for the break above 180. That's what we really want to see. Yeah, Foon. Anyone in Foon? Is anybody in this? Because this thing has been up. It's up 1,000% today. So if you bought yesterday in, before the market close, you're up about 10x, 11x now. Even if you just bought at market open, you've more than doubled your money. So that's pretty good on Foon. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what we got. We're still waiting for DWAC. We really want this one to get unhalted. I'm very curious. This is the one that seems most promising long term. But let me pull up. Some info on Foon real quick. Let's just look over what Foon has going on. Foon stock. Let's find that article I was reading earlier. So basically, for those of you who are wondering, this is why Foon stock is pumping today. It acquired an innovative high-performance computer company. Announced that it had been acquired, privately held Light Technology, Inc., a fast-growing provider of high-performance computer systems, and financed the closing considerations of $3.32 million with cash on hand, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so basically it's just an acquisition. Not really sure why that made it pump up so much, likely just hype. We'll have to look at the market cap also on Foon, but it is obviously a great catalyst for the stock. We've more than doubled, almost tripled. If we get to 21 something, then we'll have tripled the stock price since market open. Very impressive. All right. Now, I will point out to you guys that DWAC is still on hold. We're just waiting for this thing to be unhalted. I don't know why it's been halted for so long. This is longer than is typical. I think it got halted 9:30, the first minute of trading, and we've been halted until 9:49, so almost 20 minutes right here. We're going to have to see if that undoes itself soon. All right. Yeah, but we got good news on Google Trends for DWAC. We're moving up massively, right? We're expected to make new records on DWAC up here. Yeah, that's gonna be something. I mean, as more people hear about this stock, right? If you aren't extremely into the markets, you may not have heard about DWAC yet. If you're not just watching them constantly, because this thing has only been pumping up for a day, right? It was just yesterday that it really pumped up for. So obviously, over the next couple of days, we're gonna have a lot of people still hearing about this, likely pumping it up even more. And Foon stock is just going crazy. It got halted again. It looks like, geez. Usually I've not seen them halt stuff on the way up that often. Usually it's just on the way down for massive crashes, but the markets are just going crazy today. People really want to buy up these stocks. There's a lot of cash going around. Jeez. All right, let's see. Just got into Foon at $7.99 Vergones. Very nice. That's an awesome buy on this. That's crazy. Yeah, you just made a ton of money if you're still holding. And then Paula Blackford says DWAC will dump hard. Maybe it will. It doesn't seem too likely. I think there are probably still going to be a lot of buyers today. Over the next couple of days, it seems like there are just going to be a lot of buyers. And let me pull up some info on DWAC for you guys right here. Let's pull that up. And then someone said Foon is involved with creating Trump's new app. Oh, that could be it. Thank you for Gones. That is, a likely reason why it's pumping up so much, right? Which, is almost unfortunate for DWAC holders. If that's the news, then a lot of the people investing in these things are probably going to be splitting their money between the two, whereas, before, everyone might have been in on DWAC. Now that people know Foon might be making Trump's new app, that could split up the capital allocated between them. Not a bad thing if you're holding Foon. Maybe I'll get in on it. I don't know. It's up 1,000%. That seems a bit pricey for me to be buying it at. It's halted right now, so we can't do any trades on it right now. But maybe we'll buy in. It's under $20. I might buy a couple of shares just for fun to see where it goes. This is a live trading video after all. All right, but let's pull up the info that I wanted to get for DWAC. We want to see the market cap on this thing, because it's very possible, in my opinion, that this could continue running up. Let's pull up Yahoo Finance. That's a good one. DWAC. All right. So the market cap. Let's go to company Outlook, their profile. Okay. So we're looking at DWAC and their market cap, $4.74 billion. Now, yesterday when I bought in, the market cap was about $800 million, I want to say, 870 million. And I anticipated that it could rise quite a bit because $870 million is a pretty low market cap. Now, we will be doing a more in-depth calculation further into the live stream where we actually open up an Excel sheet and look at some of the numbers for how many shares are outstanding on DWAC, as well as how many people may be interested in buying this stock for one reason or another. And that can give us some kind of indication as to how large the market cap could get, not off of a fundamental level, but more so based off of just the hype of the stock, almost like a GameStop or AMC type situation, right? Not buying it necessarily because we know anything about it yet. We don't know, the company fundamentals. They haven't released any information on that. We just know this is going to be Trump's company. And based off of that, we can probably analyze how many people are going to be buying it and what a potential market cap could be. But 4.74 billion, although it seems like a large market cap, that's actually not that big. If you look especially at social media companies, Facebook obviously is much larger than this is going to be right off the bat, but 912 billion, almost $1 trillion. And I'm not saying that, because Facebook is almost $1 trillion, that DWAC will instantly get there. But oftentimes, these social media companies can get very large very fast, right? They're not like brick and mortar shops that have to. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. They're not like brick and mortar shops that really have to pace themselves and improve their business model slowly. They can really just grow rapidly. Okay, so Blue Sit said, Rob, I'm in DWACW warrants. They are still trading. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Let's take a look at that. Let's replace BBIG for a minute. DWACW, nice. Okay, so up pretty big on the warrants as well. Yeah, geez. I guess the warrants didn't get halted. That's interesting. Thank you, Blue Sit. Thank you very much. DWACW, nice. Yep, we got it. There we go. So yeah, up quite a bit. And if we actually extrapolate the price, I believe that once this stops being halted, it should acclimate to the warrant price. I believe that's how it should work, right? I think that once this stops getting halted, then it should kind of even out. And based off of that, it looks like we could be in for almost a 50% increase in the stock price once this stops getting halted. Jeez. People really are piling into this. You can see, the volume was just rising massively. Even before the market open, we had 2 million shares traded, 3 million on the first minute of market open, and then it got halted. The warrants are experiencing much less volume, though. Obviously, they're not as well known as the stock itself. Yeah, that's cool, though. That's cool. Thank you, Blue Sit. And Foon looks like we're having a little bit of a dump off 24, down $6 in a minute. That's wow. That was right after a halt, I think. Yeah. All right, guys. And if we could like this stream, that could help get it out to a couple more people. We could get some more comments coming in. That would be much appreciated if we could like the stream. I would like that very much to have some more people to interact with. You've already gotten some good information on the stock. So thank you, Blue Sit. And Paul Blackford, how do you get into the warrant? Well, we have it pulled up right here, and I assume that you could just then start trading it, depending on your brokerage, right? If you're using Robinhood, I don't think it's likely that you'll be able to trade the warrant for DWAC. However, if you're using something like TD Ameritrade like I am, I think that if I so chose, I could just, buy some shares of the warrant right here if I wanted to. But I'm already in DWAC. I'm just going to hold on to that. I'm not too interested in getting in on the warrant right now. Yep, there we go. So CEI it did bounce off kind of nicely off the $1.40 level. I will look more at CEI and BBIG in future streams. It's just that right now, DWAC is such a big deal. Very curious what's going to happen with it once it gets unhalted. It's been halted for a very long time. Let me look into why it's been halted so long. I don't know why it would be halted so long. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so no recent news on it other than Twitter. Although someone says, let's pull up this Twitter account. Let's see if they're popular. Doesn't look like they're that popular. Hi Res the Rapper. I don't know if this is, if we can count this as news, but bro, when DWAC isn't halted, it is going to fly. Sheesh. So who is High Res? Not that many followers. under 100K followers, so not the biggest, but I guess he trades some stocks every now and then. 2 million plus YouTube subscribers, though. All right. So obviously, this is getting a lot of attention. A lot of people are talking about DWAC. A lot of people are talking about PHUN. We're just going to have to see what happens with them when they stop getting halted. I'm sorry, guys. This makes for kind of a boring trading video when these stocks just get halted for 20 minutes at a time. That's really not what we want to see with them. We really want them to start moving and probably moving up, right? I do expect that we could see a lot of upwards pressure for DWAC just because of how many Trump supporters are out there who are likely just piling into the stock, almost like when we had the GME run. People weren't basing it off of the fundamentals of the company. Same for AMC. They were just piling into the stock. And that's what you see with cryptocurrency as well. Dogecoin ran up massively just because Elon Musk was tweeting about it. Basically, all you need to see a massive rise isn't any fundamental news. It's just massive buying pressure from the public. And there are a lot of people who want to buy in on this stock. I've gotten emails from people asking how to buy it. So there are a lot of people who are buying stocks for the first time because of this stock. I think that this really does have the potential to run up massively, even more. And it's not to say that we won't see some kind of dip, right? There's always going to be little pullbacks, right? Even yesterday we saw a little pullback off of $52. We dropped all the way to 40. So that was a 20% decrease in the stock price. That doesn't mean that the run was over. We're obviously, we've more than doubled since then, and we haven't even really been able to trade. We've been halted for most of the day. So really, I think that there is a ton of potential for this stock. So let's see. Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, spot on. E-Trade, same as any stock purchase. Nice. Thank you, Blue Sit. Been halted so long because Robinhood and Webull shorted it yesterday. You really think so, John Hosky? I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to be shorting this stock. We just looked at the Ortex. I'll pull it up right here. But you can see, granted, yesterday when we looked at the Ortex data, it was up 300% short interest-wise, right? But now it's only up 3%. I don't think that Robinhood and Webull would have shorted this. That just doesn't seem likely to me. I think that they're too smart for that. They had to know that this thing was going to run up massively, even though it had pumped up quite a bit just during yesterday. It was up about 400% during after hours. Just because it was up massively, if they actually looked at the market cap, they would have seen that the market cap was only at that time like $2 billion. So obviously this thing could have had much further to run. I just don't see them shorting it. I don't know. Maybe is there... Oh, wow, we just unhalted and we're making highs of 175. Wow. Yeah, so what this is this is a perfect situation, exactly what I was talking about earlier, where, there are a lot of people who want to buy this thing. And eventually, enough people will have bought it who are just in on the company. They just want to hold this thing no matter what, that nobody's going to sell. And, that's when you really start to see these astronomical values. Let me pull up the shares outstanding for this stock for a second. Hold on, let me get that for you guys. Right here, I think it's under statistics. So, yeah. Right here, we have the shares outstanding for DWAC. Implied shares outstanding. That's the one we really want to pay attention to. So 35, almost 36 million shares. Now, there are definitely, if you just look at the last results of the last election, I'll pull that up. We'll pull that up. So let's find the election results. We want to see the voter count. Okay, let's see. Maybe there's a nice bar chart of it. Potentially there will be. But basically what I'm going to do is show you guys how many people voted for Trump. And then the fact that if... Here we go. I think this is it. We got to disable this. All right, we got halted again at 157. So here we go. The election results, right? Trump got 74 million votes. Now, even if, 50% of those people have no interest in the stock market, don't buy any of the stock, and then 50% of them, so basically what's just 25% of this? It's like 20-something million. That's almost enough so that if everyone just bought 2 shares of the stock, that's the entire float, more than the entire float. And if they're willing to hold that thing to $1,000, This it could definitely run up. We're not trading off the fundamentals because we don't know the fundamentals of the company yet. This could run up quite a bit. Must be halted again. John Hosky says yes, absolutely, it's halted again. And anything on Wish? Let's take a look at Wish. We'll get rid of the warrants. Well, we'll leave the warrants up because this is giving us a good indication of, not a great indication of where the stock should be trading, but decent. We'll leave it up. We'll get rid of Foon because it's halted for a second. We'll bring Foon back in a minute. Wish. Let's see what Wish has going on. All right. Looks like we bounced off 6. That's not what we want to see. Yeah. Well. Let's see. What does the year look like? Yeah, not great that we're bouncing off of 6. I'm not happy about that. There's potential for us to bounce off around 535. There might be a little bit of support for us here. You can see where this day ended, and we bounced off of it as resistance a couple of times before breaking through. Once we did break through, we bounced up in a big way. So potentially we'll be bouncing off of 534. Stocks don't just go up in a straight line, right? Not all stocks are DWAC. They don't all just move up like this. Oftentimes, you'll see a little move up, then a bounce down. And what you want is for the stock to not make lows that are as low as the previous ones, right? You want it to keep higher lows. And as long as we do that, we're still in an uptrend, and it's still good news for Wish. So let's hope that we don't break through 530, because that's looking to be the last resistance that we've got until we start moving down around to 5. Let's hope it doesn't break down that low. So let's bring Foon back just because we want to see stock that's up 1,000% on the day. That's impressive. All right. 24, we bounced off, and we're still halted. These stocks are crazy. They're just halted all day. But the warrants for DWAC, I will point out, are still trading right here. You can see we're up pretty big, even considering where DWAC moved up to 175 off of 130. That's like a 20-30% increase. So let's see where we moved up off of the lows, 52 to 67, so around the same. My guess is these aren't tied together exactly, right? Geez, they halted that for 30 minutes, and then another circuit breaker went off. See, the reason these circuit breakers are going off is because there are just so many buyers and no sellers that, as soon as this thing opens, people have a ton of buy orders flowing in for it, and there are very few sell orders. Look at this. In fact, we can't even find any of the... Let's pull out the price here for a second. Yeah, I can't even find the buy orders, but there's only 2 sell orders right here, so not many people want to drop this stock. All right, let's get rid of active trader. Jeez. Yeah, big day for DWAC. All right, and if you're doing the same analysis I did yesterday, Norma Albello. What was your analysis yesterday? I think your name sounds familiar. I think I saw you in the comments yesterday. I forget what your analysis was. All right, looks like trading has been unhalted, and it looks like we are starting to move down a little bit. All right, starting to move down, still up massively off where we opened. Let's see what happens with this. I think that people are starting to get a little scared when they see these big halts. It almost indicates that there might be some kind of potential manipulation going on, right? Like maybe someone did short yesterday. Maybe someone was saying something about Webull and Robinhood shorting. I don't think that's the case, but maybe someone important did short this thing. Maybe they don't want this to run up too much. They might try to push it down a little bit, but here, let's just move back to... We'll get this back in a second, but let's just move back to DWAC on the day. So DWAC, right there. Yeah, okay. All right, it looks like we may have been halted yet again. This thing, obviously very volatile. Geez, every couple of minutes we just get a halt. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. All right, so Corsair. Corsair is an interesting one. I haven't looked at it in a couple of days. Okay, so I know we had a big pump up at one point. Or no, it was a pump down, I guess. Jeez. Yeah, not great for Corsair. Obviously, we still got $24 to hold on to as resistance or support. Look at the year. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we'll break through 24. I mean, we've got the earnings call coming up. If that's bad news, right? If there's a bad earnings call, then we definitely could break down below 24. But I don't know. Corsair is a strong company. I don't think that they're going to just be pumping down. If any of you follow financial education, that YouTube channel with Jeremy Lefebvre, however you say his name, he's a good guy. He's done a lot of analysis on Corsair. I tend to trust his opinion. I don't think that Corsair is going to continue dumping too much. I just don't see it happening. All right, so DWAC halted again. Man, this is the most boring trading day for DWAC. We've only gotten 4 bars on it, and we're already 38 minutes into the trading day. Very unfortunate. Jeez. All right, let's go back to the 4-stock chart. Obviously, not much is happening on these halt stocks. Let's pull those up. We got, what other stocks would you guys like to see being watched? We have 2 open slots right here where we can pull up whatever you guys want. So let me know in the comments if there's any stocks you guys want to watch. I'll mostly be paying attention to DWAC and PHUN just because these are massive gainers on the day. Anything. Let's see. Let's see if anyone in the comments has anything they want to watch. No comments. No one wants to watch any stocks. That's fine. All right, we'll leave it on IWM. No, we'll go to SPY for now until someone says something. We'll leave it on SPY, and we'll pull up CI again. Someone did ask for CI at one point. Looks like we're bouncing off of $1.40 again. Hoping we don't break through this. Although when you see big plays like DWAC and PHUN, it is sometimes the case that people end up dumping their shares of other companies to get in on them. Sometimes they want to get rid of these stocks. If they were just looking for momentum, where there's not an actual movement. I don't know if this will have an effect on AMC or GME, but it might, right? If a lot of people see that DWAC is moving up a ton, that PHUN is moving up a ton, if these become the new hot plays, sometimes people dump the other plays. You can actually see yesterday was a pretty horrific day for CEI, and that kind of lines up with how great of a day DWAC had. If we look at the 1 minute, then it kind of lines up. We just moved down on CEI as we moved up on DWAC. So potentially, people are getting out of CEI. People may have been getting out of BBIG as well. Yeah, it looks like we started moving down. Yeah, both of these stocks, CEI and BBIG. I'm not saying they were hurt directly by DWAC and potentially now PHUN. But maybe some people were dumping their shares of this if they were just in these for the momentum and the potential for a spike. When they actually see a massive spike and a huge rally with some big catalysts, they may be taking their capital out of those other stocks, putting it into DWAC. And, that's fine. That's part of the game. That's part of trading. You got to make your decisions about where to allocate capital. That's why the price of some stocks goes up and others go down. So what we're looking at with BBIG is we're hoping for a bounce off of 5. That really is, if we look at the long term, the last bastion of support that we have over the past 30 days, at least. If we look at the past 90, then yeah, under 5, it's not looking good. There could be a lot of pain under 5, but we're still waiting on the Thai dividend. That's in 2 months, so potentially, in a month or so, when things start to get a little bit closer and a little bit clearer as actual news about the dividend starts to come out, we might start to see more momentum entering into BBIG. All right, it looks like DWAC has started trading again, so let's zoom in on that. FUN is still halted. DWAC is stuck above 130 for now, right? Looks like we're bouncing off 130 fairly well. All right, Prague or BBIG, why they halt the stocks when they go up, right? They really shouldn't be halting these things when they go up. I'd have liked to see them not be halted, but you can see volume has gone down massively on DWAC, thanks to the halts most likely, right? I think that we would have seen and continue to see massive volume on these if they hadn't halted. These halts have scared a lot of people, though, right? People, traders, anyone who was holding their stock and saw it just shooting up, they're up massively. Pretty much everyone is up massively, unless you bought the past couple of minutes, right? Unless you were buying in the past half hour, you're up massively on this stock. And, they may have seen all these halts and said, hey, let me get out while I can. I don't like the fact that my money's frozen. That's likely why we're seeing a bit of a decrease in both of these, right? After big halts, we're seeing a big decrease. And, that is the point of halts, right? They're meant to stop stocks from skyrocketing as well as stop them from crashing. I and I tend to think that it's more important that they stop them from crashing than stop them from skyrocketing. I don't know why they would want to stop a stock from skyrocketing other than potentially to stop some people from getting really hurt if there's a massive top and a huge drop after that. It doesn't make too much sense why they'd want to do that, but that's their call. If they're going to start halting stocks, then obviously they're going to be halting this, and it looks like we may have been halted again. Geez, not even on that much volume, but it is just a lot of large percentage changes in the stock price, I think, that's doing this. And you can actually see 10.05 to 10.06 we were allowed to trade, right? Or no, 10.11, sorry about that. 10.11 to 10.12. Let's actually look at these halts, and I'll explain something here. So you can see that at 9.30 we just moved up in a massive way, right? From 118 to 130. I think that was enough of a percentage change to halt the stock. And then when we opened back up, we opened at 175 at 10 o'clock and then moved down to 157. That was another massive percentage change, which was allowed to halt the stock again. I think that the circuit breakers go off at, I believe it's 10%. Let me actually look it up. I think it's 10% and 20%. Stock market circuit breakers. Let's see what levels they're at. Okay, here we go. Circuit breaker definition. So when there are three circuit breakers when the S&P drops 7%, 13%, and 20%. So, this isn't the S&P, so I think the standards might be a bit different, right? Because obviously, all kinds of stocks drop 7% like it's nothing, and we don't see circuit breakers go off. But the S&P, I think, is different because that's such a large index that the market makers don't like seeing the entire market sell off this much. And the last time that I remember seeing circuit breakers go off was actually back when COVID first became a thing. People were really worried, and the S&P was just plummeting. It was really bad news for the S&P. And I do remember watching live some circuit breakers go off. It was very interesting. These are almost not circuit breakers. It looks like they're just trading halts, and I'm thinking that because they're for arbitrary amounts of time, right? This halt lasted 30 minutes. This halt lasted 5 minutes. And this current halt started at 10:12. It's been 3 minutes so far. Hopefully, it's just another 5-minute halt. Let's see what people are saying on Stock Twits about DWAC. I'm sure people are complaining about the halt for sure. Maybe people are saying, let's pile into PHUN. They might be saying that. Yeah, I hate that they halt the stocks, but halt interruption caused a dip. Should pick up back now. Okay, that's what people are saying at least. Looks like we're still halted, though. Warrant prices indicate stock price back below $100. Yeah, so if we look at the DWAC warrants, we can see. We will actually keep this up. Yeah, so the stock warrants have dropped quite a bit, lost quite a bit of value. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of volatility with these. I don't think that it's the biggest deal. Maybe it's going to be a little bit of a crash, but we really aren't that much lower than where we were in the pre-market, at least with the warrants. Now, this chart that I have here in the bottom left are the stock warrants for DWAC, so it's basically just giving an indication of where the price should be once this stops being halted. So we are down around to where we were at market open. So that's what we're trading at right now. $45 on the warrants, and that should be around 119 on the stock if this thing perfectly lines up. It looks like it should be lined up fairly well. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, the warrants, potentially are a good play to be getting in on if you're wary of all of these halts. I mean, it really is unfortunate that so many of these halts are going on, not just for DWAC, but for PHUN. I really don't like to see that, so that's unfortunate, but that's what we got right now, so we're just going to have to deal with it and wait. Now, for any viewers watching the stream, I would really appreciate if you guys could like it so that we can get a couple more people in the chat and we can have a little bit more conversation in the chat. That would be much appreciated if we could like the stream. Let's see if we can get it up to We got 31 viewers right now. Let's see if we can get up to 30 likes. Maybe everyone will like it. We'll see. We got 23 likes right now, 24. So we're going up. That's good. I'm just going to have to see 25 likes. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that a lot. We're hoping to just get this out to a couple more people. And, it is helpful, I think, to have people in the comments because I've only got one set of eyes right here. I'm only watching these 4 stocks right now. And, people can be in the comments doing other stuff. Nice. We got 30 likes. Thank you guys very much. Good job on that. Much appreciated. So, DWACW, it looks like we're experiencing some volatility right around the market open. It's looking like that's a support level right here for the warrants, at least. We'll start watching the warrants, I guess. And let me actually, let's pull up just a 2-stock view for a second, because I am the most interested. Now, if you guys have any stocks that you'd like to watch, then you can request once again that we move. This is almost an ugly view. It's very tall. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think that we should stick with the 2-stock view or a 4-stock view? It's y'all's call. I'll go either way. We're just waiting for these to get unhalted at the moment. Hopefully they will be unhalted soon. Yep, so volatility around the market open. Now, let me pull something up for you guys in the meantime while we're waiting. I'll go back to the 4-stock. That, I think, was nicer. Let's get DWAC up there, PHUN. Oops. DWACW, we'll get the warrants. And we'll pull up Prague. Let's see what Prague is doing. We haven't looked at Prague yet today. Okay, so Prague, let's see what we've been doing over the past couple days. Yeah, just trending down. Yep, so we're likely to find some support around here. We see a big zone that we were consolidating in for a while. So this could be a good zone of support for us. It doesn't seem like the kind of place that we would just shoot down to the bottom of and crash through, because so many people, once again, were buying around here that they're reaching their cost basis. A lot of people may have been taking profits up at these levels. Let me make sure my camera isn't blocking. It is blocking a little bit of the chart. So let's get myself out of here. There we go. So with Prague, yeah, I think that there is a nice level that we've reached right now that we can likely consolidate in, find some support in, potentially, right? Obviously, we could shoot right through this. It doesn't seem too likely, though, just because so many buyers were purchasing their shares at these prices. A lot of them may have been selling at these higher prices. And, this is maybe where some people will be looking to re-enter their position. That's a possibility. All right. Let's get myself back on the screen. How about that? Let's see. What is this? There we go. Nice. All right. Still halted, but it looks like we have bounced up on the DWAC warrants. We are moving up. I'm curious, is anyone in DWAC? Have you guys, has anyone bought into DWAC? I am curious, because I did yesterday. So I'm up pretty big, as long as, these halts don't crash us, right? Even if they do crash us a little bit, I don't think this should be a difficult thing to get moving back up. Mainly because I think there are so many people who are just going to want to buy shares of the stock and hold them, right? I think that a lot of people are just going to buy and hold this company. I just don't see us dropping down all that much over the long term, right? I think that, yeah, definitely we could see a lot of volatility, especially with these halts, especially with profit takers on DWAC. I think that, we have been moving up quite a bit. It wouldn't surprise me to see us go back down to like $100, $80. But the thing is, if you were buying in yesterday, which it looks like that's where all of the volume was pretty much, you're still massively in the green, even at $80. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to see. But there is, I think, longevity to this stock in the sense that a lot of people are going to buy it. They're going to hold it over the long term. They don't want to dump it. They don't care what price it is. They're just going to be holding it, kind of like GameStop or AMC. I think that this could turn into some kind of movement stock. A lot of people really love Trump and are willing to hold, especially a company that is, I think, will be run by him, essentially, right? It's his social media company. And it looks like we just unhalted trading, and yep, we're trading right at $100 right now. So let's see, $99, and it looks like trading may have halted again. So there we go. We get a couple of bars of trading. People are looking. Okay, I see what's going on here. So we pumped up massively, And then these halts are almost just a manipulation, getting this thing to go back down. I think it's creating a lot of fear. A lot of people are looking at their portfolio and saying, oh, I have a ton of money in it, a ton more than yesterday at least. And they maybe want to take a little bit of profit, but they can't because the stock is halted. So they just put in sell orders, like, hey, sell this, I want to get rid of it now because, the government's interfering with it. They're halting it. And then it just gets stuck. And then as soon as it unhalts for a minute, it crashes down and people just see this downwards pressure and are trying to dump some shares. But I don't think that that's going to be what happens over the long term. I think that, we will find a support at some point. Who's to say where exactly it'll be? Likely in the $100 to $80, maybe $70 range, because that is kind of where we were trading a lot during the pre-market. Can't say exactly, but $70 would make sense, if we did bounce off of that. But I do see us moving higher today. I think that this is a hot stock. I think that a lot of people are still just hearing about it for the first time, potentially getting in on it. So let's see, we got a lot of new comments. Noble H. Hey, Rob, could you please check out PBTS on the 4th chart when you have a chance? Yes, sure thing. PBTS. We'll pull out of Prague. Wow. This one's up big today also. Let's see. That's pretty good. PBTS, PowerBridge Technologies. So let me pull up. For a second. Let me pull up PBTS. Let's see what's going on. 1 hour ago. What's the news on PBTS? That's what we want to see. What's gone on with it? Let's check the news. They launched a crypto mining fleet on the 8th, and then they're moving. Maybe they're just a momentum play. Stock climbing 1.67%. Well, if anyone knows what's going on with PBTS, then let me know. I'm curious about it. Couldn't find anything on the internet quickly enough. Okay, so we got a lot of comments coming in. XW33B, this has to be illegal to halt a stock for 30 minutes. That incentivizes selling. Absolutely, it seems like a real crime. It really seems like a crime. It definitely incentivizes selling, right? The more liquid an investment is, the more buying pressure there's likely to be, and the better people feel about it. So, halting it like this just makes it a very unsavory investment. And the fact that, it is being halted so much is almost certainly incentivizing selling, right? This is, we talked about manipulation a lot on the channel, and this is almost a perfect example, a live example of manipulation pushing this stock price down. Now, a lot of the time, a stock is moving down and it gets halted, and that saves it a little bit. So it's not always to the downside that they force these things. Sometimes it's to the upside. So sometimes you do end up getting saved, but man, I would rather they just let it go and let the stocks that are going to crash, let the stocks that are going to run. I think it would be a much better system. I would much prefer to have seen this thing pump up to $1,000 today, and 1,000 sounds out of the question, right? It sounds very high. Market cap wise, it's achievable. It is achievable, especially share count wise. If everyone's just holding, if a couple million people are just holding a couple of shares each, we could definitely get this to $1,000. No problem. We'll do a calculation on that later. But I bought DWAC at 43 yesterday, sold at 50. What a mistake that was. Super Kalel says. It's not a mistake if you made money on it. That's not a bad thing. You made some money. You could have made more, but maybe not, right? This has been halted, so it's tough to get out at this point, if you did want to sell. And someone was saying, hey, Rob, I bought DWAC at 170. Should I regret or hold D. Bennett? 170, that's a very high price. Honestly, yeah, I don't know if I would be trying to buy it right now just because of all the halts in the short term. Obviously, it was a short-term mistake because you could have gotten it for just like 30 minutes later, a much better price. But, this isn't financial advice. I'm not saying to sell it. I would probably still just keep holding it because I think that right now we're experiencing some short-term manipulation. If I were the one who had bought up there, I wouldn't just instantly sell just because the market makers are, dropping this thing, dumping it. I would be holding on if I had bought at 170. I'm still holding on to my shares. You guys can see I've still got 150 shares. We're still up 8K on the day, 11,000 since open. I bought 200 shares initially. Here's what I did. Here's my DWAC story. I bought 200 shares initially, for $24.18. So around here, I bought in. And I sold 50 right here, right before this massive pump up. Of course, I sold it for like 36 something, pretty much the lows of this little dip down. And then we pumped up massively. So, I did want to hold 150 for the long term, just because I think that this really does have some actual running potential. We could really see massive appreciation in this price over the next couple of days and weeks. I really do think that it could move up big. Sell now before you lose it all, says Gennaro NYC. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's, obviously, you shouldn't be trading with money that you can't afford to lose. So, don't put everything you've got into any one stock. No matter how promising it seems, it's never worth betting everything on one play. You can always find different plays, find other plays. There's always going to be stuff out there that you can do to make money. It's never worth betting everything on one play, and that's not financial advice. Once again, obviously, sometimes it works out, but oftentimes it doesn't. Oftentimes you end up losing money. A lot of the time, plays that have the huge pump potential can crash, and you can lose a lot of money on them. I don't think that will be the case with this one. Obviously, for me to lose money, it would have to crash down to $23, $24. So that's unlikely to happen, but it's worth getting in on plays like this, I think, but not riding them into the ground. You don't want to put everything on one and lose everything you've got. Just live to trade another day. That's my opinion on it. Complete manipulation, says John Hosky. Absolutely. Okay, Noble H is saying PBTS. I got in end of May at 165, held through it being pumped up in July, and it then fell off until now. So maybe a squeeze of some sort. Definitely possible. And quite frankly, guys, I have to be honest with you. My throat is starting to get a little sore just from talking so long. I haven't talked on a video this long ever, right? We've been streaming for an hour now. So the throat's getting a little sore. That's why you see me drinking so much water. Whew. Man, I hate to say it, guys. It's a kind of boring stream because this thing just keeps getting halted. It's really unfortunate to see that we just get stuck. Every couple of minutes, they halt it. So, 9:22. So, in another 2 minutes, it looks like they may be unhalting this. We'll have to see what happens with it. I'm hoping for a bounce, but the warrants indicate otherwise. Wow. Whew. Yeah, the throat's not good. How long until we can see another rise up? Jeez. It's really going to depend on when they stop halting, I think. I think we're just going to have to wait for that. Whew. I'll be right back 1 second. I'm going to get a piece of gum or something, man. Let's see what we got. Okay, we got some of this nice Tic Tac gum. Take a couple of those. Hopefully, that'll help my throat out. All right. Now, it looks like we're getting some more people in the stream. It would be much appreciated if we could actually get some more likes on the stream to get even more people in here commenting. Lube that throat up. We ain't done yet, says Gennaro NYC. Thank you. All right. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. But yeah, let's see if we can get some more likes on this. Let's see if we can get up to 50 likes. We have 54 viewers right now. Let's see if we can't get this thing up to 50 likes, get some more comments going. Got 45 likes at the moment. Let's see. All right. Likes aren't moving too much. I guess everyone in here already liked the stream. All right, so DWAC still halted. Let's take a look at this. This is actually kind of crazy. On StockTwits, got 30. You can just see these comments piling in on DWAC. It is the most active stock right now. If we look at the rankings, this just crashed the computer. That's crazy. Loading the 3,400 comments just crashed StockTwits. Jeez. So hold on. Let me pull that off for a second. Let's not mess up the stream with this. So we got 47 likes. We only need 3 more likes, guys, to get to the 50 that we're looking for. And it looks like DWAC was just unhalted. We are moving further down. Looks like we're pausing a little bit at 90 bucks. Hopefully we can continue to bounce off of this. It's looking good. It's looking promising. But obviously the volume you see has been massively diminished, especially considering what we saw yesterday, what we saw during the open, and even after the first halt, right? After the first halt, there was still a lot of volume, but all the halts have just really battered this stock. And, you know, in a sense, the halts almost could have been good if people continued piling in. However, I think a lot of people just saw this thing up so much that they were unwilling to get in on it. But I do think that the real staying power of this stock is not going to come from the traders and the institutions. I think it's going to be the individuals who are just holding a couple of shares each, who just don't let go of them, you know? I'm not letting go of my shares for a while, at least, unless we see some real monumental prices. Then I'm holding on to them. I'll show you guys the shares that I've got. Got 150, bottom at 24, so we're up 7,800 bucks on the day. That's decent. That's really good, actually. What am I saying? That's really good. You know, any trade that goes that well is doing incredibly well. I wish I had held all 200 that I bought. I did sell 50 of them originally for around 30-something bucks, 33 bucks, maybe 36 bucks. So, you know, I saw a big profit on that, and then I decided that the others I would just hold because I really do think this has massive pump potential. I think that we could be moving up. You know, we obviously broke 100 bucks already. I thought that was going to be a little bit of a challenge. I thought we'd see some resistance, and it looks like, you know, we did technically bounce off of 100 a little bit, mostly because of the halts, but I think we could see much higher prices on this. And I'm not talking fundamentally. I'm just talking about momentum and how many people might be looking to buy this stock. You know, a lot of people are getting involved in the stock market for the first time. I don't think that they're going to be happy to see, though, the manipulation going on with all the halts. I think that that could dissuade some people from buying in. All right, we got 50 likes. Thank you guys very much. There we go. So let's give him a like pump, guys. Yeah, well, you know, when the stream did get more likes, we actually did start moving up in price. So, you know, it's very likely, not very likely that it had an effect, but might have, yeah. All right, so we're just, it looks like it might have been halted again. Yeah. Jeez. They are relentless with these halts. Yeah, the volume got stopped. That's crazy. It wasn't even that volatile. Wonder why they halted it this time. What excuse they have. Now it's starting to just seem more like manipulation. I mean, obviously, you know, going from 88, you know, they opened at 89 and closed at 97. Yeah, that's a big price swing. I'll admit that's a big price swing, but it's only about 10%. You know, and granted, 10% in a minute, that's a lot. But I don't know if they need to keep halting it. I'd say if I were in the office with them, I'd tell them, hey, just open it up, let people trade how they want, and let's see what happens with it, because I think we could ride this thing up pretty high. Yeah, so let's pull up StockTwits another second. You can just see DWAC is the most, or it's the top trending, and I think it's the most active. And if we actually look at it, we can see a ton of people are just constantly commenting on this, talking about it. So I won't show too much StockTwits because sometimes they post weird stuff on there. Don't want the stream to get canceled. What about CRDT? Let's take a look at CRDT. Foon is still halted. That's crazy. 9:54 it got halted. It's been almost 40 minutes. It's over 40 minutes, actually. Jeez. Wow. Yeah, Foon's been halted for a long time, so we'll pull that one back up eventually. What was that? WAB CRDT. Let's see what we got going on with that. It's going to take a minute to load. CRTD, yeah? Oh, whoops, that was CRDT. Here we go. Sorry about that, Y brother. There we go. CRTD. All right, so yeah, we're up about 100% on the day. A lot of stocks are just popping off today. Potentially, well, I don't see any obvious halts. Maybe here, 153. Yeah, no, I don't see any halts. So, why is this one pumping, my brother? And D. Bennett says, okay, I'll just hold my DWAC and hope it'll rise. I mean, that's what I'm doing, man. You know, I'm still holding, and, you know, I do think that it definitely has the potential to rise. I don't think that this was a one-day pump. You know, maybe it was. We are up massively off where we opened, right? We've just about 10x, right? This thing was at $10 just about 2 days ago. Now we're at $98. So, you know, we have 10x, and at one point, you know, at 175, before we really started getting halted a ton, we were 17x. But as we've seen with things like Dogecoin, when there is a big movement behind something, you can definitely see a ton of momentum flowing in and raising the price far beyond what you would typically expect. Now, let me pull up the Google Trends on DWAC. Let's see what they've got going on over the past couple of days. Yeah, so here we go, guys. This is why I think DWAC will likely be rising, right? This is what we were looking at yesterday on Google Trends, how many people were searching for DWAC stock, and this is today, right? It's just a straight line up. It dwarfs how many people were looking at the stock yesterday on Google. So I really think that there are a ton more people interested in this stock. I see us going up huge. You know, if this thing stopped getting halted and people weren't so afraid to put their money into it, it looks like it's unhalted right now. I think that, you know, when you get a situation where a stock can just rise in a straight line, just because there's so much momentum going into it, which is really what we were seeing before all of these halts. If you look, we'll pull back to the 5-minute. If you look, we were pretty much just moving. Let's get rid of this. Let's pull out to that. We were basically just going up. I mean, there were some minor pullbacks, but nothing like what we saw since the halts, right? And this isn't even that significant. You know, the fact that it was halted kind of explains away the big dip right there. I don't think that this rally is over. I think that we'll likely see more appreciation in the stock price. I'm hopeful for it, at least, right? I'm still holding my shares. And it looks like some people in the comments are holding theirs as well. Thoughts on PHUNW? So the warrants for PHUN. Here, let me, yeah, CRTD. So why, brother? Why is this one pumping up? I can look it up over here on this screen. Let's see. 4 hours ago. I'll actually check the news here and see if they've got anything. Okay. Some traders are viewing this stock as a sympathy play amid the momentum in DWAC and PHUN. So that's why CRTD is moving up. Obviously, yeah, no. So PHUN, CRTD, and DWAC all seem to be somewhat connected, at least in momentum, right? You can see that around similar times is when they started dipping. We got the warrants right here. Let's look at PHUN. PHUNW. All right. So yeah, this is basically PHUN, but it's different price. It's the price of the warrants, and the price of the warrants should pretty closely track the price of PHUN. Let's pull that up. And I'm sorry if I'm in the way of this for PHUN, this chart. I might have to make myself a little bit smaller, actually. Let's see if that works. Yeah, no, I'm not going to mess with it, guys. I don't want to mess with my camera right now. We'll just try to move this over to the side. There we go. So PHUN now trading back around where it opened at market open. Very close to it, maybe using it as some support at $8 right there. Yeah, man, these halts did it. These halts really stopped these from running. But DWAC, I think, likely has the most longevity because it is the actual company that's going to be acquiring Trump Media. So I think that if anything is really going to run, it's this. Maybe PHUN as well, right? Maybe that. I haven't heard specifically what it's going to be doing in relation to DWAC and Trump Media, but DWAC is definitely the one that I think a lot of people are piling into. It's the OG. I think that if any of them are really going to run up, it's this. The other ones, you know, while they're nice, Especially if you're making money off of them. I almost view them as like distractions from DWAC, the original. I think ideally the situation that we would see is everyone piling into one, really driving the price up, similar to a Dogecoin situation, right? A lot of people, when Dogecoin happened, started complaining about Shiba Inu coin because that's taken attention away from Dogecoin. And it did happen around the same time. I think Shiba Inu opened when Dogecoin was becoming a thing too. So, this kind of stuff happens. Oftentimes, something will be pumping up big. Other things will come in like CRTD, PHUN, take some attention and capital away from the original thing. And people definitely make money on them, and that's a good thing. That's definitely good. But it might be possible for everyone to make more money if everyone was just buying the same thing. Obviously, there'd be some laggards and some people who couldn't get in on the OG just because, they got priced out. Maybe they can't afford shares at this price. Which, speaking of which, I will offer you guys something right here. Let me pull this up for you. If you guys are interested, I will try to pause this really quick.
What's up?
I'll show you guys something right here. If you guys are interested, hold on. That's a weird face that I'm making. Let's not have a weird face that I pull up on stream. Let's have it be a somewhat normal face. Okay. So this is the video I made on DWAC yesterday. And in the description of this video, in the description of the live stream, I have these links where you can get free stocks on brokerage platforms. All you have to do is open up an account. You don't have to make, you don't have to deposit any money even to get these free stocks on Webull, at least. If you want to open up a brokerage account, you can get free stocks just by opening the account. You get one free stock valued up to $300, and then a second one valued up to $2,000, I think, if you put like a penny in the account. So there are a lot of opportunities, actually, many opportunities. There's a Webull link, there's an M1 Finance link, there's a public link, there's a Robinhood link. If you use all of those, you don't actually have to use the brokerages, but you can get some free cash that way if you want some more capital, to trade whatever stocks you want, DWAC, PHUN, CRDT, or CRTD, sorry. You can do whatever you want. If you use those links, you get some free money. Yeah, like the Musk news is to Doge. Trump news will be to DWAC. Expect huge growth, D. Bennett says. Yeah, no, I expect that as, if Trump was on Twitter still, this thing would be pumping up a lot more than it currently is. He'd have access to a lot more people a lot more quickly. This news would have caught on much more quickly, right? If you look at the Google Trends data for DWAC, you can see that we are up much higher today than we were yesterday. People are searching for this. They're just hearing about this now, right? Because unless you were pretty into the stock market, you didn't hear about this yesterday. This is when a lot of people, like the mainstream people, are starting to hear about it and look into it. So I really think that there's still a lot of buying pressure for DWAC stock. I think that we could move up massively. Obviously, as more people hear about it and get into it, and as these halts come to an end, we're likely to continue moving up. As you can see, we are kind of trending up. At any point, maybe we could bounce off 120. It's not guaranteed that we're just going to move up in a straight line, but I do think that there is a lot of bull pressure for this stock that's building up. As people are hearing about this just at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. today for the first time, they're looking into it. Maybe it's going to take them a couple of hours to decide, hey, is this something that's worth buying into? Maybe it takes them a day or two to do their research. But really, if you look, let me pull up the market cap for this stock, or rather the shares outstanding. Implied shares outstanding, 35 million. And we've already got the presidential election results right here, 74 million. So even if 50% of those people don't care about the stock market, it only takes half of them to buy one share of stock, and they've bought up the entire company. There's obviously people like me who are holding 150 shares, right? And people, there are going to be institutions that want a couple million shares. So I think that this has a lot of room to run price-wise. Not necessarily based off the fundamentals. We don't know how the company is going to work yet. We don't know how they're going to collect revenue. But we do know that there are a lot of people who could potentially be interested in this and a lot of buying pressure. So I really think that we could see big appreciation in stock price, right? We're currently, if we pull that up again, only at a market cap of... No, that's not the right market cap. Let's go to the summary over here. Market cap of $4.23 billion. So there's still some room to run on this one. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's still room to run on this. Yep, we could definitely see a much higher stock price. Looks like Foon is starting to rally as well. I'll move Foon over here. It's or tell you what, I'll move Foon over into this top right. Move Foon into the top right. What do we want here? CRTD? Not BRTD, CRTD. Okay, we'll have that. And then, what do you guys want? What stock do you guys want in the bottom right? You can't really see it too much because my cam is in the way, but what do you guys want? Is Foon tied to Trump 2? Says Lazy Guy 2087. I believe it is. I believe it's been linked to DWAC, potentially some company that's going to be working with them. Not entirely sure. Okay, and D. Bennett says, thanks for the info. Honestly, felt horrible when it dropped and I didn't sell, but you reassured me. Yeah, I'm glad I could. I mean, I'm still holding my shares. You know, you see it moving up, just kind of regaining this pattern that we had going on before of just, you know, trending upwards in a almost straight line if you look at it. It's if we want to put a drawing on it, it's it moved up fairly in a straight line almost. You know, there's obviously going to be some volatility just as buyers and sellers step in, but you know, I've not been this bullish on a stock and so sure of it in a long time. And that's not to say that it's 100% going to go up, right? I could be wrong. They could definitely crash and we could lose money, but it seems like the kind of situation where it seems like a sure thing almost. When you really think about how many people are going to be buying it, it seems like this low price that we're experiencing right now is a little bit of market inefficiency. Obviously, a little bit of manipulation with all the halts, creating artificial uncertainty in the stock price. But I think that, you know, not financial advice. I'm not telling anyone to hold it. I'm not telling anyone to buy it. This is just my opinion, but it really does seem like a sure thing just based off of, like I was saying before, not the fundamentals. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the share count, the shares outstanding, 36 million. Let's see if we can highlight that. 36 million just about. And how many people voted for Trump? Obviously, not all of them, you know how to trade stocks or are interested in this. Or, you know, and some of them might have just been at the ballots and not been too into Trump, but just not like Biden and voted for Trump instead. But even if just 10% of these people, you know, it would only take them buying like 4 or 5 shares each to own the entire market cap. And like I said, there are people who are going to have a lot more than 4 or 5 shares. So yeah, even if just 10% of Trump voters bought 6 shares, I think we would have more, you know, more demand than could possibly be supplied. Obviously, you know, what companies do in situations where the price moves up a ton, it's potentially possible that there will be some kind of stock offering that will add to the share count and raise capital for the company, which will, in the long term, greatly benefit the company at a fundamental level, right? They'll be able to engage in new activities and make investments into their R&D and actually, you know, develop whatever social media platform they're going to. That could really pump it up over the long term and make this a real sustainable company. But we wouldn't like to see it in the short term for the share price because obviously, you know, dumping more shares onto the market is going to make the price tougher to just keep moving up in a straight line like we have been. You know, obviously these halts were not ideal, so we really don't like these halts, but that's what we got sometimes. So, all right, we got 67, almost 70 concurrent viewers, and we got 58 likes. Let's see if we can get 2 more likes and get to 60, so that we can get this stream out to a couple more people, get some more stuff going on in the comments. So, R.A. Molly says, awesome stream, Rob. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I will. And John Hosky says, what are your thoughts on SoFi? Let me pull up SoFi. Let me pull it up right here. CRTD is not the most interesting one. It's very loosely tied. Geez, why is this keyboard not working? There we go. So SoFi, let's take a look at the past 30 days. So I think I made a video about this not long ago when it was, let's look at the past year then. Yeah, so I think it was around 17 bucks, 17 or 18 bucks. And I was talking about how we could break past this 17-something resistance and start moving up, which it looks like that is what happened. I haven't been keeping too close of an eye on it. SoFi was actually a long-term investment for me, so I haven't really been looking at my shares. I just have it in my M1 Finance account. That's what I use to hold my SoFi. So, you know, it's moving up. I think that it's a very promising play. I have seen a lot of advertisement for SoFi. So I think that it's a growing name. And obviously, a lot of companies involved in the finance space, especially when they combine finance and technology, have a lot of potential. So I am bullish on SoFi looking forward. I think, that we saw a lot of volatility in the past. It took them a while to prove themselves, and this may just be another spike up before a dump. But I'm not in SoFi for a trade. Like I said, I'm in it for the long term. I think that will continue to appreciate in a pretty significant way over the long term, right? If you look at stocks like Wells Fargo, WFC, there it is. Then just over the maximum time frame that they've got. Let's see if we can zoom out. They started pretty low when they first got into the finance business, and as technology ramped up, they just started doing better and better, which SoFi is starting with that boost, right? So you can see Wells Fargo, let's look way back, started at 90 cents. Obviously, that's not accounting for all the stock splits that they've done, but you can see, COVID obviously hit them pretty hard, but they've done very well since, right? As technology has enabled people to access their finances more readily, I think that there's much more room to grow in the finance space. So we'll pull up SoFi just for a minute and take a look at the chart. It's obviously a very new company, and it does have a somewhat high valuation. It's a couple billion. I forget exactly what the market cap is. It's obviously changed since I last looked. SoFi stock market cap, 16 billion. So still very low compared to what companies like what the big banks like Wells Fargo, Bank of America are doing. But the thing about those banks is their business models are brick and mortar. They have brick and mortar places. Pretty much everywhere I go, I see a Bank of America ATM. And it's important to have access to your cash and all. But SoFi is doing things almost exclusively online. And I think that kind of business model tends to have a lot more growth in it, right? I think that we've seen that with the tech companies, and I think that it's great that SoFi is doing that with finance as well. So I think that finance and tech are great industries to combine, and that's why I'm so bullish on SoFi. It's not necessarily off of their current revenue numbers or anything like that. It's not off of the numbers that they've got going for them right now. It's just over the long term, I see them becoming a very big company, possibly. All right. Got 30% gains of this and out. When is CEI's time to squeeze dark shorts? Thanks, Yale G. So what did you get 30% gains on? I'm curious. Maybe DWAC. It's very possible, at any point you could have gotten 30% gains. You pretty much just had to buy, any time before the past hour or two, and you were making 30% gains easy. So I'm going to assume that's what he's talking about. And we can look at the CEI short, the dark short interest. Let's see. I'll pull that up and bring it over for you guys on the other screen. Let's pull that up. CEI, Camber Energy, short interest right here. We're going to get it on Fintel. Okay, so we have this for CEI. Just to answer this guy's question. Finra dark pool short volume. We see 38 million shares being shorted on dark pools for CEI. That's not out of the ordinary. We tend to see 50 million, 33, 27, 17. We did see 119 on the 19th. So if we pull up, where's CEI? We don't have CEI. I'll play SoFi with it. We said what we need to say about that. So the 19th is right here. Yeah, so the day that it pumped up massively on Zach Morris's tweet. So I'm actually curious if Zach Morris has been tweeting about CEI. Let me pull that up. And am I in on Foon? No, I'm not in on Foon, Phun. I am not. I'm in on DWAC. You can see got 150 shares right here. Average price of $24.18, up 9,000 on the day. So I'm still holding. I'm holding probably for a while. This I bought 200 shares originally, sold 50 at 36 for about a 50% profit, and I'm just gonna hold the rest until I see it pump up massively. Right? I think that looking at the Google Trends data, at least you can see DWAC stock has been moving up in a big way on Google Trends. A ton more people are searching for it than were yesterday. So yesterday we saw it move up a ton. And I think that without the halts, we would have seen it move up even more. We were beginning to see that, right? We saw it move up massively during the couple minutes leading up to the pre-market or to the market open. We saw it move up huge on the first bar. It got halted. It moved up massively on the first halt. I think if that was where it had continued, then we could have continued to see it move massively upwards. But we just kept getting halted. So people did get a little wary of it. It looks like the halts have ended now. But now I'm just waiting for the next big pump up. Unfortunately, I think that potentially what we'll see after the next big pump up is more halting, right? I think that if we do start to pump up in a big way, start to make new highs on bars that are too large, if market makers think this thing is going up too fast, they may halt it. So we really don't want to see that. All right, we have 69 likes right now, so I'm hesitant to ask for one more like to get us to 70 because that's a good place to be, but let's try to get one more. Let's try to get to 70 likes. Let's see if we can do it. We'll see. We got 59 people watching right now, so we'll see what we can do. Likewise. All right, now what was I pulling up? What was I pulling up? I was going to pull up something about... I'm forgetting what I was supposed to get for you guys. I was going to pull up Twitter and see what was going on with CEI. Let me pull up. We got Foon on 2 charts right here. We really don't need Foon on 2 charts. Only Foon in the bottom right just because it keeps getting halted. It's kind of boring. So if my face is blocking, then no big deal. BBIG, it looks like we are continuing to move towards 5. Hopefully we'll be bouncing off of that nicely in a big way. That would be nice to see. We're down about 15%. I think that, yeah, once we broke through 570, that was a very significant resistance or support for us. So once we broke through, that wasn't great to see. We did manage to bounce off of it on this massive dump, but it just didn't support us as well as I was anticipating over here. We got stuck at 6 for a little bit, but have continued just dumping and dumping. Hopefully 5 will hold us, because if you look, 5 is really the last bastion that we've got. It's what held us before. And, this isn't to say that BBIG is dead forever if we fall through 5. I think that as the Tide dividend gets closer, this stock unfortunately really got killed when the Tide dividend got delayed. But we don't have that much longer until, right? It's only 60 days until the Tide dividend should be almost out again. So, even if we move down a bit in the meantime, there's no reason to think that we won't continue to pump up right before the Tide dividend actually comes out. Some people are probably just getting out right now so they can get into other plays over the next 60 days. They'd have no reason to hold this for 60 days waiting for that catalyst, because it really will most likely be, a couple of weeks before to a couple of days before this thing really starts gaining momentum on the Tide dividend news again. Obviously, shorts are happy to see this thing down. We can look at the short interest in a minute. Yeah, thanks for the BBIG update. Noble H says, yep, sure thing. But can you give an opinion on ATER? Will it ever reach 50 again? Let's take a look at ATER. Now, it was never actually technically at 50 in the first place, but very close to it. And I don't love to see us breaking through this $8 right here on the day. A lot of these stocks are suffering. A lot of the traditional plays are suffering. I think part of it is that they have been trending down for the past bit, but I don't think that they would be breaking these supports. Like BBIG we just saw was getting very close to 5. It might break it. CEI was testing its support as well. ATER is currently testing / breaking through its $8 support. A lot of it, I think, has to do with DWAC, PHUN, and CRTD. All those stocks are pumping up huge. I think people might be exiting their positions. Some of the more speculative traders who weren't, in these for a huge short squeeze, they may have just been playing off momentum. They may be getting out of their positions and looking to allocate capital to things like DWAC and other stuff like that. So, it'll be tough over the next couple of days, especially if DWAC keeps pumping and more people keep putting money into that. People do tend to follow the money. So, if they see a stock up massively, that tends to be on more people's watch lists. And you can see that just with the Google Trends for DWAC, it's up a ton, right? As, it was up massively just on the day when it was up a couple 100%. But then in after hours when it almost doubled again, or more than doubled, I think, people, even more people piled into it and started looking into it. So people do tend to follow the money. But is Prague squeezing? Let's take a look at Prague. And sorry, I didn't answer, I didn't answer your question about if ATR could get to 50. It could, right? It could, but we're going to need more attention to come back to it, right? We don't want it to just fade away into nothing, which unfortunately, let me show you guys how this goes. I'll compare ATR stock search to DWAC stock search. You can see ATR is the red line, DWAC is the blue line. It's not even comparable. Nobody's looking for ATR compared to DWAC. It's getting a ton more attention. Now, if you look at ATR alone, let's get rid of DWAC for a second. Let's remove it. And you can see ATR is not doing too differently from how it normally does. It's a little bit lower. But, obviously less people are going into this as the money flows out. And, typically, momentum leads to more momentum, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy when you see a stock moving up that it likely continues moving up, just because people are trying to get in on those momentum plays. And it's not great to see us sinking down below $8. I really don't like that. So we're going to have to watch 8. It's not like we haven't broken through below 8 before and rebounded. It's very possible that we will, but it's not looking the best. I don't love seeing us down below these support levels. I like it when we bounce off of support levels in a strong way, kind of like we did a couple of days ago before we hit 10 and got bounced off of that. So it's not looking great for ATR. It's always possible, right? Because I believe there is still a high short interest. Let me pull this up. ATER on Ortex. And we'll see the short interest for it. All right. So still at 30% of the free float. So still fairly high. Not as high as it once was, but a lot of people are still shorting this. So we're going to have to see what happens with it. It's these kinds of plays that can come back. It's not guaranteed that ATR is just going to continue sinking, even if it does break below 8. It might just take a bit. It might take some time. So let's see. Is Prague squeezing was the next thing. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at Prague. We are up 22%. We're up. Oh, that's good. See, we did bounce pretty nicely off of this support range. We were just looking at this earlier today, and I literally drew this rectangle as an area that was likely to have a lot of buyers in as, I thought that it might hold us there, but it looks like we are just bouncing out of this in a big way, up 20% on the day. So pretty good. Pretty good stuff what we're seeing on Prague. Let's see what the search volume is for it. Yeah, okay. All right, we're moving up. We're trending up. We have all-time high search volume, right? Or not all-time high, but we're currently on an upwards trend, all-time high for the course of today, right? So more and more people are looking into Prague. And like I was just talking about with ATR, momentum breeds more momentum. So it's possible that we'll continue the squeeze. It's always possible we get shot off of it, but let's look at the 10-day. We got pretty close to all-time highs right there, off 333. So there's some potential with Prague. We could continue to see us running up. A lot of people may have made a bunch of money on DWAC, PHUN. They might be taking their money back into these squeeze plays eventually, right? If they start selling out of these, it's always a possibility. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that, right? Obviously, I'm in DWAC for the long haul. If it drops a bit, then it drops a bit. I'm most likely not going to be out of the money because I was in at $24. I got 150 shares right there. Up only about 7K on the day. It was up much more than that at one point. But we're still doing decently, right? I'm happy with anything that's green, honestly. I'm happy with green, so not going to complain about that. All right. So now what I was going to pull up on Twitter, I got distracted. I will pull it up now. Zach Morris, because we were talking about CEI stock, right? We're talking about CEI, and if we might be able to continue seeing a run. Now, what's going to be important for CEI, we'll pull this up and just cover the screen for a second, is if we can see Zach Morris tweeting about CEI. So, unfortunately, I don't see him tweeting about it too much. Let's see. We can't even find it if we Control F for CEI on Zach Morris's tweets. So that's really what led to the big pump up in price just a couple of days ago. If we look back at the past 10 days on CEI, this tweet that he released initially just a couple of days ago is directly correlated, which I don't know if we can even find it because it's probably so old. He tweets quite a bit. but he literally tweeted at 10:08, and then at 10:08 this thing shot up 14%. So CEI was always kind of based off of Zach Morris, right? He was always the one driving it up when we saw the initial run up a while ago. This was thanks to Zach Morris. So we're really going to have to see Zach Morris return, I think, to see CEI move up, and that's something to watch out for, right? He came back for a little pump. Maybe he just sold his stuff as it bounced off of 180, and that's why he hasn't mentioned it since. I wouldn't put it past him, but if he does start tweeting, he may consider buying CEI again as we're hitting this support level at $1.40, and then he may tweet about it. So there is the potential for it to run up big, I think. Yep. Okay, and Prague is still doing pretty well. I like that we bounced very nicely out of this range and are just continuing to move up. We're starting to regain our uptrend after this big spike down. That's good. And DWAC looks like we were halted again at 10:05 for some reason, right? Just to create a little bit less certainty in the stock to dissuade people from buying it a little bit more. We have to halt it again. That's good. Well, I'm not too worried about DWAC. Over the long term, I think that will probably continue trending up just as more people get involved in it. Even if there is a lot of volatility today, maybe it'll lead to a big crash, but people really don't know what this company is going to be worth on a fundamental level even when it does come out, right? They don't know how many users it's going to get on day one, probably a lot when the app is actually, or whatever, the website or the app or whatever it is that Trump is planning on making is actually out. So, it's kind of just a speculative thing that I think a lot of people want to get in on. And I don't think that, a big decrease in price would diminish the potential returns that people view this as potentially getting. In case anyone's on the stream who hasn't seen this little calculation that I did earlier, the implied shares outstanding are 36 million shares, right? That's quite a few. However, when you look at the presidential election results from 2020, 74 million people voted for Trump. So even if only half of them bought one share of the stock, if half the people bought a single share of the stock, that's the entire float, right? That's all the outstanding shares. So, if they then just decided to hold that until each share was worth $1,000, they could do it. It would have to take a very coordinated effort. But I have seen, I responded just this morning to someone who emailed me on which brokerages would be good to get started with. Someone was emailing asking for help on that because they had never been involved in the stock market and they wanted to buy some shares of DWAC. So I think a lot of people are getting involved in the stock market for the first time. So it could be good news for DWAC. And I'm sorry, I'm chewing some gum right now because my throat was hurting, just so you guys don't think I'm just chewing gum for fun on stream. How did you get into investing at such a young age? Let's see. How did I get involved? I was always kind of interested in the stock market, but the first time I actually bought a stock was, I think I was 18, and for my 18th birthday, my mom gave me a gift card because I talked about stocks for a bit and always wanted to do it, but under 18, I don't think you're allowed to. My mom gave me a $25 gift card to, it was just kind of a gimmicky thing. It was a gimmicky brokerage that you could buy gift cards for people for, and I bought $25 worth of AMD stock. So that was how I really started getting involved in investing, but I was always into finance and saving money and stuff. So I've always just kind of naturally been into it. But thanks for the question, Noble H. Yeah. Now, it's always been a big interest of mine, so. And it pays to be interested in. I think it's one of the most important things. I think it's very important for people to take care of their finances because it is such a crucial part of life, right? Like having enough money, it's basically equivalent to having enough food and having enough shelter and clothing. So it is very important to have that under wraps. And I'll tell you, it relieves a lot of anxiety to have plenty of money in the bank, plenty of money in your portfolio, and to know that, any kind of large expense could come up and you don't really have to worry about it too much. So that's really why I'm making this channel, just to, help other people learn about it, because I wasn't the best when I first started out. I started out with, first that $25 in the AMD kind of gimmicky stock exchange, which was not a very good brokerage. I then put $180 in Robinhood and really started messing around with that, and that's how I got into it more. But It definitely wasn't the best when I started out, and I've realized that a lot of people are just not involved in finance at all. They don't know anything about it. They don't know anything about the stock market. So I'm making these videos to try to kind of point people in the right direction, to give them my opinions and some lessons that I've learned on it, which I think can be useful, right? I think that if I can save people some money and stop them from just throwing away money, giving it to the institutions, then that's a good thing, right? If I can keep some people involved in the stock market for longer than they might otherwise be. Oftentimes, people will take a trade, lose a bunch of money, decide the market's a scam, get out of it. But there's a learning curve with everything. So I think that kind of like how, if you just started playing a sport for the first time, you'd probably lose your first couple of games. You probably wouldn't be that good at it, but since it's a game, you continue playing, and there's no real downside. With the stock market, you're losing money every time, and it seems like the kind of thing you shouldn't stay involved in if you're losing money. But you have to understand that eventually you'll get better. You will start making money if you really learn it well enough. That's what the institutions have done, right? They've learned it very well. Also, they know how to manipulate it pretty well, so that's how they do that. But I do think it's a very important thing to be involved in. That's why I've been involved in it for so long. Good way of thinking about your money, Noble says. Yep, I think so. I try to think about things in a good way. Learn to swim with the sharks early. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think yeah, a lot of people. I'm in college right now, so I'm learning a lot about American history and whatnot. There's a lot of people out there who want your money, and they don't just do it through the stock market. They do it through all kinds of government programs and whatnot. Taxation is one way they do it, but there's all kinds of loopholes. I'm in a racial ethics and diversity class right now, and there's pretty horrific stuff that you never would have learned about without knowing something or other, without taking some kind of history lesson on it. So yeah, there's a lot out there that people aren't aware of, but I think it's good to just try to be aware of as much as you can. Do good in the markets, because that's where a lot of the return comes from, right? If you've ever listened to Warren Buffett, he has a bunch of good quotes about the markets. I used to listen to those. I actually have, if anyone's interested, I will pull this up. I have an Instagram account where I do oftentimes post quotes and whatnot. I do sometimes post stock memes. I used to post a lot more quotes, but I got it right here. Go to the full screen for a second. Rob Almazy on Instagram, right there. Hopefully, you can see all my notifications, but basically, I just post some quotes and whatnot, decent stuff. If you're interested, we've got a couple thousand followers. I don't post that often. I'm not nearly as active on Instagram as I am on YouTube, but that's just because Instagram, it's not as interactive, right? You post something and a couple people comment on it. YouTube, we got comments coming in a lot, so I much prefer that. All right, we've got 72 viewers right now and 81 likes. Let's see if we can bump that up to 85 likes. Let's try to get some more people in this stream. We have been growing it. If you look at the chart, we have definitely been growing the stream quite a bit. We started out with 4, and we were sitting around 30 for a while, so we've doubled since starting. So that's pretty good. Yeah, but if we can get to 85 likes, that would be nice. We're at 83 right now. We only need 2 more likes. That would be much appreciated if we could bump this thing up to 85. All right, looks like DWAC is bouncing off of 82 right now. Or potentially it's going to bounce off of 82. That was the low that we saw during the actual trading hours. Hopefully we'll be bouncing off of it. Who's to say? Looks like Foon is just dipping down and down and down. Yeah, Foon didn't seem to have as much longevity, in my opinion, as DWAC did. It looks like DWAC is halted again. They've just got to kill the volume on this thing, right? They've got to pump it down. Just halt it every couple of minutes so that nobody can trade it. That's seems to be what they're up to. Oh well, that's they can only do that for so long. At a certain point, I think people may start to complain about it. And maybe there'll be some kind of outrage. I know there was a bunch of outrage when Robinhood halted trading on GameStop and AMC when they were pumping up initially. So they really can't keep this up forever. It is kind of annoying to see every couple of minutes a halt going, because now it's you can see the last bar we had was 10:15, and then 10:16 was when they opened it back up. And this wasn't even off of that big of a drop. Like, yeah, sure, it dropped a couple of bucks from 89 to 84, but I do think that if we ever really stopped seeing a halt and started seeing some more momentum come back into it, that would indicate to a lot of people, like, hey, let's get back in. This thing's starting to run again. But overall, I think that this whole thing that we've seen today has been a whole lot of manipulation, in my opinion, right? All the halts just really killed this stock off. It really was running up massively, right? We were up at 175 at the highs. And we're still even doing pretty good. We got $5,800 profit on this account that we've been holding. Got 150 shares that we bought at 24.18 yesterday. So honestly, anything above 24.18, I'm happy with. I don't think we're going that low again. It would be unlikely, in my opinion. Ever Google trend your name? I have not, but I'm about to. So let's see. Let's see what we got for Rob Almasi. I wonder. Probably nothing. Yeah, it doesn't have enough data. But if we look on YouTube, maybe we'll find... No, there's not enough data. So I think that you need quite a bit of search data before anything actually starts popping up. Probably like thousands and thousands of searches. And this channel only has... how many subscribers have we got? Let me check. Let's check and see. I'll pull up the stock charts while I check this. But we don't have that many subscribers right now. We only have 4,300. So, not the smallest channel, but not the largest. We could definitely be having more. We could definitely have more. So nothing popping up on Google Trends yet, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. Now I've got a bunch of tabs open over here that need to go back to the other screen. All right. In fact, I can just close a lot of these tabs. I don't really need these. Yeah, I'll pull that off. Yeah. And the CI short interest we don't really need. Okay. Now, there is something that I will offer you guys. Obviously, anyone buying into DWAC over the past hour or so is now down on money, right? This is the first time you could really say it, that anyone who bought into DWAC in the past hour was down on money. Because if you look at the past while, at least the past day, pretty much everyone, any hour that you bought was typically up on money an hour later. So this is the first time there's really some risk with it. But we don't want to open up the live stream. Whoops. We want to open up this because I haven't plugged myself in too long. It's been too long since I've plugged myself. I will offer you guys the opportunity to use any one of these links. You can use all of these links if you want. You can get up to $2,300 with Webull for free just by opening an account and depositing a penny. You get $30 with M1 Finance, guaranteed $30, right? This is up to $2,300 from Webull, which if you just click Get My Free Stocks, you can open up an account with them and whatnot. With M1 Finance, it's a similar situation. I won't bother with that, but you can use all these links if you don't have brokerages with any of them. I use all of these brokerage accounts. I think they're all pretty decent. They're decent brokerages to use. You do get some free money. That's the real upside, right? If you want free stocks, then you can get up to $2,300 with Webull, $30 with M1 Finance, $70 with Public, up to $500 with Robinhood. So there are opportunities there for free money if anyone hasn't gotten those yet. Ambition 2020. Do you think that DWAC will have another run today? It's tanking. I know. I've been watching it. Today is tough. Obviously, there have been a lot of halts, and that has been really just turning this into a kind of bearish day for DWAC. Not necessarily, I really shouldn't say bearish. It is up 70% from close, where it was yesterday. So still up massively. But at any point, I think that we could really see a big pop in the price. I do think that the halts are what killed this thing off, though. I think that the halts really just destroyed the momentum that we had going for us. Unfortunately, we were hitting highs of $1.75. That was right after the first halt. I think that traders were still willing to accept, big moves up in DWAC, but then it got halted again. And that really just killed the volume on it, which unfortunately, has led to a decreasing stock price. But I don't think the halts are going to last forever, right? I think that eventually, once this thing is a little bit more liquid, once people have stopped halting it, once the market makers are done with that, that we could continue to regain the rally, right? We could start moving up again, and I'll pull up some statistics. I'll pull up Yahoo Finance so we can see the market cap and whatnot, but we still are not that very high considering what this stock could be. DWAC, let's pull that up on Yahoo Finance, and let's look at the market cap. We're at only a $2.5 billion market cap, and for some reason, that just doesn't sound like a lot for Trump's company, right? That the $2.5 billion for the Trump company, that doesn't sound like that much. I think it should be tremendously higher. I think it could be a lot higher than that. I think that there are a lot, obviously we looked at this in the past, but I feel like I brought this up a bunch. But if you look at the share count, here's really just the calculation that I'm doing. I'm looking at the implied shares outstanding, right, of 36 million, and then the presidential election results for 2020, which, I'll pull up off screen just in case. You never know what Google's going to show you. Basically, what the calculation I'm doing is I'm looking at how many voters Trump had, and then deciding, if only 10% of them want to invest in the company, let's say 10%, because maybe 50% aren't interested in stocks at all of the 74 million, and then another 40% just don't want to buy this stock for some reason. If only 10% of people buy 5 shares of DWAC each, that's the entire shares outstanding that they have going for them, right? So of the 35 million, if only 10% of Trump voters bought 5 shares of DWAC, that would be the entire float of the stock. And if they held it to 1,000, they could hold it to 1,000 and bring it up as high as they want. But what we're seeing right now is some people getting fearful because of all the halts and manipulation going on with it. So, it's not guaranteed that that's going to happen. Obviously, we could just be touting this stock as it dumps and dumps. I'm still going to be holding my shares, though. I still have my 150 shares, and still up decently on money, right? Up 3,600 on the day. Obviously, every time I mention how much I'm up, it goes down a little bit, but still 6,800 for since open. So really, anything that's in the green, I'm happy with. I do believe in oftentimes, holding these kinds of plays that really have explosion potential. The root volatility like this, to a point where it's almost life-changing money. That's a potentially a good way to go about it. Lost 100K. I'll be happy to get 50K back. I got trumped, lol, says Ambition 2020. Wow, 100K. You were investing quite a bit. I see what you did there tremendously. Yeah, that was something I was doing. What do you think of AMC, BBIG, and COTY? Thank you for your videos, says Rogelio Rodriguez. What do I think of AMC? Let's pull up AMC for a second. I have not, the one share of AMC that I did hold, I actually just sold above, I think it was $42 or something that I sold it for. It was a free referral stock that I got from Webull, which if you guys are interested, I know I just plugged it. You can get up to $2,300 free stocks on Webull. All you have to do is click the link in the description of this live stream or any one of my videos. But I got a free stock, free share of AMC, and it was around like $38 when I got it, and I decided to hold it for a bit because it looked like we had the potential to break past $40. Once we did, that's when I started to see maybe some resistance for the stock. Let's actually take a look at the 1 year. $40 seems like a pretty crucial level for AMC, so I did end up selling that one share above 40. I didn't get involved in AMC before the big squeeze, unfortunately, right? It always looked kind of promising, but at this point, it's so valuable market cap-wise. If we look at AMC stock, let's look at the market cap for AMC, much higher than DWAC. I believe in getting in on things early. Well, actually, we just had it right there. $18 billion market cap, $18.88 billion market cap. So pretty high on AMC. And that's not to say it couldn't 4 or 5x, right? It could get up to 100 billion, but it gets really tough. Especially, let's look at the statistics for it and see how many shares outstanding there are. Yeah, 513 million. So you're already getting to the point where you have to have 500 million people, or maybe just 50 million people holding 10 shares each to really hold all the shares. Whereas with DWAC, let's find this. DWAC, you only have to have, I think, 5 million people or 7 million people holding 5 shares each. So it really is a much better risk reward in my perspective, right? Obviously, a lot of people love AMC. I'm not saying that AMC can't move up a bunch. It could go up to probably $100 billion market cap. But that's just about the highest I see it getting. So, unfortunately, I didn't get in on AMC in time, and I don't want to have too many plays on my radar, right? So AMC is a big deal for a lot of people. So the free share that I did end up getting, I just sold it. Didn't really want to hold it. That's what I think about AMC. bought at $119. I think I'm going to dump and take the 120K loss as Ambition 2020. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, that's your call if you want to. You can. You can do it. This isn't financial advice. I'm not telling anyone not to do anything with their shares or whatever. But looking at the market cap of $2.51 billion just seems very low for Trump's company, in my opinion. I'm not trying to convince you to, hold on, but I know how this trading thing goes, and it always sucks. When you buy up super high, 119, and then it tanks. It really sucks when you're down, but it sucks even more when you sell and then it pumps up. And I'm not saying to hold because you might lose even more. You obviously have a ton of money invested in this. If you lost 119 on a move from, if you lost how much did you lose? 120K, I think you said. Was it 100K? Yeah, 120K. Yeah, moving from 119 to where it was at 70. So, I'm not trying to tell anyone to hold. I'm still holding, right? Obviously, I only put in an amount of money that I was comfortable losing. I only bought 200 shares initially, so it was about $5,000 worth, which I was comfortable. I was like, hey, if this thing tanks, fine, I'll lose $5,000. Worst case if it goes to zero, which it was not going to zero. So I'm still pretty big, but I can see the situation where you want to sell, and that's fine. I'm going to continue holding though. I do think that this still has a lot of run left in it. I think we're only on day number 2, and looking at the Google Trends data, which I'll pull up off screen, I think that there is potentially a lot more running that this has left to do. DWAC stock, let's pull that up on Google Trends. Over the past 7 days, we've seen... Okay, here we go. So you can see yesterday, the search volume, when we were running up massively, was fairly high, right? It was fairly high. But today we have dwarfed the search volume. And I think that a lot of those people just have not yet gotten involved in DWAC stock. So I think that, as we do see this start to get a little bit more liquidity, as people start to become a little bit less fearful of these halts, as the market makers calm down, as the brokerages calm down, I think that we could see it start to rise quite a bit more. That's just my opinion, not a guarantee. Okay. Now, which would you say, Noble H says, which would you say has the bigger impact on a stock going down, short shorting or investors selling? It depends on the stock, but I think typically investors selling. Shorts can pump it down in the short term, but they eventually have to cover because they are paying those borrow fees. I think that they, eventually cover, and shorts just aren't as numerous as buyers. I think that oftentimes when you see a stock going down massively, it is typically not just because of huge shorts coming in, but people being fearful of losing money that they've made in the stock, and they end up selling their shares. I tend to think it's mostly investors selling, but oftentimes shorts can manipulate it in the short term, getting investors to sell, right? They could, shorts could, let's find a good example of it. Let's look at CEI. We have CEI right here. So what happened with CEI, I think, was when we saw this massive dip, it was likely a lot of shorts piling in right here, pushing the stock price down, right before Carousel Capital released a big short report on the stock, right? And explained why people should be shorting it. I think that then continued, to push the stock down massively, but I think it was mostly investors selling that drove the stock price down, right? Shorts may have initially spurred the sell-off by making people kind of fearful by just pushing the stock price down a little bit, but I think they would have to short far too many shares to actually cause this massive of a dip. And when we actually looked at the Ortex data on this big CEI dip that we saw way back when, we've been tracking this for a while, shorts actually ended up covering a lot of their positions around here. So, typically I think that shorts don't just don't have the firepower to drop a stock by, 50%, but they can drop it by 5, maybe 10% and cause a sell-off because it's broken, say, a key support level, and then a massive short report comes out. I think that can definitely happen. So that's what I think about CEI and the short positions. Okay, so Ambition 2020 is saying a lot. So Trump's not all in. Only like 18%, I think. He sold his gab. I'm okay, but my 10-year-old will get home and go crazy if his trading account we trade together. Yikes. He's conservative long holds of good companies he likes. Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, he probably wouldn't be happy to see a massive 120K drop, man. Jeez. I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough situation. It looks like we got halted again. So good luck getting out if that's what you're going to do. It looks like we've been paused again, so good luck with it. And I don't necessarily advocate for exiting positions at a loss necessarily, right? Like if you had a set point that you were taking this trade at, then that's good. It depends on why you bought it, right? I bought this just part of it. I wanted a short little squeeze for, right? And I did sell my first 50 shares when I was up 50%. So I bought in. Let's actually look at I think we can even find it here. Yeah. So I bought in at 24.18. So around here, probably somewhere around here. And then I sold my first 50 shares, about 200 initially. Sold my first 50 right here, actually, right before it pumped up even bigger, almost when it hit $50. I was kind of disappointed to see that I sold right before this massive rally. But now I'm just holding the rest for the long term because I think that, oftentimes over the course of a couple of days, it can sometimes take to see a really big run up in stock price. Like with Dogecoin, you didn't see a massive run up just in one day. You saw run ups day after day after day. And there were days when Dogecoin was down, when it was actually down like 50% some days. It went up to 40 cents per coin and then dumped down to 20 cents. And people were rewarded for holding through that when it bumped up to 70. So I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm just giving you guys my opinion on why I'm not selling. So yeah, if you have a trading plan and you're going to sell, then definitely you can go ahead and do that. Yeah, especially this early in the day, you probably just got hypnotized during the ripping Jordan Israel, Peterson says. Interesting. Your explanations are two-notch. I think you meant to say top-notch, Saturday Love. Are halts a new thing makers and brokers use to stop rallies? I really haven't seen a lot of halts for rallies before. Maybe I just haven't been watching the right rallies, but I've not seen very many halts on rallies. It's typically just crashes that I've seen rallies for, so I'm really not sure. I'll look into it, but I was surprised a little bit. I wasn't surprised to see the first one. I could understand maybe the first one because we did actually see some halts yesterday, I believe. We halted for a little bit, but not often, not nearly as much as we have been halting today. I don't know who was getting worried about this stock. Maybe some shorts got in yesterday. Obviously when we looked at the Ortex data, I will pull that up for you guys. There was a large short interest increase yesterday. And I will pull up DWAC on Ortex for you guys in just a second. I'm pulling that up right here on the other screen. So yesterday on Ortex, you saw a short interest change of 300-something%. Massive. So a ton of shorts were definitely piling in to DWAC yesterday when it was running up. And I don't know if the market makers or the brokerages are trying to keep this thing down just because some important shorts got caught in it or what. But obviously, it is being held down, right, by the halts. I don't think that we would have seen this kind of a chart without the halts. Just my opinion. Because we can actually look. Let's pull off AMC for a second. DWACW. These are tracking the DWAC warrants. Now, we were experiencing still, even after the first halt, big upwards pressure. Until around 10 o'clock. Let's see what happened at 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock, we still saw a lot of buying pressure, right? Even right after the second halt. However, once it became apparent at 10:05 when we got halted again, that we were just going to keep seeing these halts, we just kept getting battered down and down on these massive red bars. So it really seems to me like, after the third halt, people kind of realized what was going on and that this thing was getting held down. And a lot of maybe the shorter term traders decided to get out. Maybe some people got scared and sold their shares. And it looks like now that the halts have slowed a bit, we are starting to move up. Although I have noticed that every now and then they put a halt back in every couple of minutes. So yeah, you can see right here from 11:28 to 11:33, there was another halt. People might just be aware of it at this point. Maybe all the people who are going to get scared out have been scared out. But it's interesting to see. So I definitely think the halts had something to do with the drop in price that we saw. I'm hopeful that we will continue moving up and continue rallying like we have been, right? We're still up about 100% since close yesterday. So pretty good news for this stock, right? Pretty big gain, pretty good news. I expect that there will be a lot of catalysts in the future, as Trump starts talking about it more. And when he really I think that just releasing details about this thing could serve to pump it up a bunch. It will get more media exposure. More people will hear about it through the news and other sources, and probably just say, hey, I'll buy a couple shares of it. And that's what will really drive up the price. Just the massive swaths of people, I think, who are going to buy a couple of shares each, because the float on this thing, which we've looked at, I'll pull it up over here, is still very low. If you look at the statistics for it, we've only got an implied shares outstanding number of 36 million. So that's not even enough for 10% of the country to buy one share of, right? And I'm not saying 10% of the country is going to buy a share, but I think that maybe, half of Trump supporters might like to buy one share, or maybe 10% of them might like to buy 5 shares. So I do think that there's a lot of rallying that this stock has to go looking forward. So I'm not too scared about this. I think that we'll probably continue moving up. And even if we don't, I was lucky enough to get in at $24. So, I'll ride this thing down, and I'll probably just keep holding it. Even if we hit 24, I wouldn't be too worried about getting in the red. I already secured a profit on some of the shares. Not too worried about it. So I do think we're moving up. So we got some conversation going on in the chat. Jordan, are you holding any DWAC? Yes, ma'am. Been taking profit here and there. I actually learned from AMC and Jimmy squeezes. Yeah. See, taking profits is definitely important, which is what I did initially, right? With my 200 share count position initially, I did sell 50 when I had a 50% profit, and now I'm just holding the rest because I do think that the bull case for this stock is strong enough to see a very significant rally, right? I don't think that we're done the second day that this thing is trading. I just don't see us dumping off of that. Even though, despite the halts, I think that the halts are more of a short-term stopper on this stock's growth. I think that there really is a lot more to go with it. So, all right, we've got 95 viewers and 91 likes. Let's see if we can pump this up to 100 likes. We need 9 more likes on the stream. Be much appreciated to get 9 more likes. We could potentially be getting this out to more people. We have 92 likes, so we are climbing. People are heeding my word. 94 likes. Let's see if we can get 6 more, get this up to 100, and get some more viewers in here. That would be nice. 100 likes. There we go. Thank you very much, guys. That was very quick. 101. Awesome. Thank you very much. Good. Because honestly, I think it's more fun to have more people in the chat. Can talk a little bit more. Rob, what is the top price for PHUN today, do you think? Let's see. The top price, unfortunately for PHUN, I will have to look more into it. I have not done any research on this stock. I don't know how it's tied to DWAC. I believe that's the case. Someone said in chat early on in the stream. So I really don't know what the top price for this is going to be. It may be 2404 is the top price, right? That was extremely high. It was a massive increase of over 1,000%. People were up huge, considering where it closed yesterday at $1.60, somewhere around there. So, 2404 might be the high of day. If this really is tied to DWAC and the Trump pump, then it's very possible that we'll continue to see some kind of appreciation in it. But I couldn't say. I haven't actually looked into what it is. I really don't know much about PHUN. I've just been watching it to see the chart because I know a lot of people are interested in it, which I will move it over there because it is tied to DWAC, I believe. So move it into a chart that's more visible. Move CEI over here. How about that? Which it looks like with CEI, we just keep bouncing off of $1.40, which isn't great, right? The more times we bounce off of it, the weaker this actually becomes. Really what you want to see is a big movement upwards when we bounce off of it. Typically, when a stock sticks around a level like this, it's trying to break through. So we really need Zach Morris to step in and tweet about CEI if we want to see this thing get revived and really start rallying. That's what I'd like to see, at least. All right. All right. DWAC to 500. I think it could. over the next couple of weeks. I'm not just trying to pump this thing up. Obviously, I'm being very transparent. I do hold shares of DWAC. I have an interest in it moving up in price, but I do think that it could move up to 500, right? I think that 500 would put it at a market cap of only 10 billion, I believe. Let me look. Let me find the market cap. Let me pull it up right now. So at 90 bucks, just about, we're at a $3 billion market cap. So, that would about 5x, 6x maybe. So it'd be almost a $20 billion market cap that we would have. So that would bring it in line with AMC. I don't see why we couldn't. Obviously, there's a lot more people who may be interested in this than who are interested in AMC, potentially, right? AMC was more of a niche thing for people who are interested in the stock market. Maybe if you like movie theaters and GameStop, if you're into finance and trading, then that's who AMC was interesting for. It did bring a lot of interest to the area, so obviously new people came in. However, a lot of people already love Trump. A lot of people already know how to, invest, and I think that a lot of people will be willing to buy into a Trump company. So I think that we could see a lot more buyers potentially for DWAC than what we saw for AMC. All right, Ambition 2020 says, who knows? I trust none of them. I trust us regular citizens more. Yeah, I don't trust anybody either. I don't trust anyone either. I just trust myself, my friends, my family, and some people online that I've identified, right? Joe Rogan fan. I'm a Joe Rogan fan right here. Anyone else like Joe Rogan? I'm curious. AMC has a big day coming up October 25th. Why is that, Justin Cruz? Why do we have a big day coming up for AMC? I'll pull up AMC on this chart. We don't need the warrants now that we're not halted. AMC hasn't been doing too hot today. It's down to about 7%. And it's definitely possible that, like what we've seen with a lot of these meme squeeze stocks, AMC, BBIG, CEI even is down big. We have seen big depreciations over the past day, potentially as a lot of people are getting out of them and entering into DWAC, right? As a lot of the momentum traders are getting out of these. You see around the same time, all of them began kind of faltering, right? Around 10:30 yesterday, they all started. I'll pull up BBIG right here. We can pull that up. Yeah, so all of them just yesterday and over the course of after hours and pre-market and today have not been doing great. They've all kind of just been moving down. And it's not guaranteed that the only reason they've been doing that is to move capital into DWAC. It's my suspicion, though, that a lot of people are moving their capital from these potential momentum plays that they may have been in on for a while into DWAC because it did just spike up hundreds of percentage points in a day. So I need some more gum. Hold on one second, guys. Just need another piece of gum. All right. Got to keep this throat from dying on us. It's not going to be good tomorrow, though. Man. All right. Okay, so we got 110 viewers right now, 116 likes. Let's see if we can pump this up a little bit more. Let's see if we can get to 125. Michael Shocker. You will give a like if I just say his name. Michael Shocker. Let's get a like on this video. How about that? Noble H says, Joe Rogan, yes, I've been listening to his podcast lately while I work. Elon Musk and Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson have been a couple of my favorite guests. I've listened to those podcasts as well. They're really great. Yeah. I love the Elon Musk one. He's done a couple with Elon Musk. He's done a couple. One where he smokes is fun. Lex Friedman. He has a great podcast with Lex Friedman. I was just listening to a great one. Who was it? Who was that Joe Rogan guest I was listening to? It was really good. I'm forgetting his name, but it'll come to me. It'll come to me. He's had a bunch. Naval Ravikant. That's it. Naval has an amazing podcast about productivity and business and how to do well in the world. And he was a guest on Joe Rogan. He has his own podcast as well. Highly recommended. If you like Joe Rogan, I'll pull it up right here. And Shadowlove says, check out Lex Friedman. Yep. Where did the last gum go? I spit it out, Shadowlove. I just spit it out. Got some new gum. But let me pull up Naval Ravikant because he has an amazing podcast on Spotify. And he does an episode with Joe Rogan. And I hope none of this is copyright or whatnot, but 1309, Naval Ravikant. I'll pull up the full screen for a second. You can see right here, episode 1309. Amazing episode. it made me go and seek out Naval's podcast because he just has a really great one. So highly recommend it if you're interested in business and finance and that kind of stuff. It's really good. All right. Check out Lex Friedman, Shadow Love 6. Yep, I already read that. Yeah, no, Lex Friedman is really great. Love Lex Friedman. He has his own podcast. I don't watch his podcast too often, but whenever he's on Joe's, I listen to that. All right. We got that 120 likes I was talking about. Nice. There we go. So, DWAC, just kind of stagnating, consolidating. Nothing really to complain about here. We're basically where we were at during the early or the late hours in the pre-market. So nothing really to complain about. You can't complain when you're up $6,000 on the day. Would not complain about that. So that's nice. Now, has been a while since I've done this, and we do seem to have some new viewers. So I will offer everyone the opportunity to get some free stocks. I know for those of you who have been here for a while, you've already seen this, but you can go to any one of my videos, even the description of this live stream, and get up to $2,300 worth of free stocks with Webull, up to, or a guaranteed $30 with M1 Finance, up to 70 with Public, up to 500 with Robinhood. You get that just by clicking the links, following the instructions, opening up these brokerage accounts. It's a great opportunity to get free stocks. You don't even have to deposit any money for the Webull one. So, you know, you don't have to use the brokerages either. You just, you can get the free cash and then move your money out of it if that's what you'd like. All right. Jason Nodder, yes, that's what happened to me too. It placed my order at market, not what I bought for, and tanked me more. All right, and Jordan Israel Peterson, Joe Rogan's arguments on all topics have made him more articulate when he interviewed Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson. Since then, he's used a lot of wisdom. For real, fan of all three. Yeah, those are three great speakers. So I definitely, listen to Joe Rogan a lot. Loved Jordan Peterson. He kind of fell out of the spotlight for a while, though. Hadn't seen too much Jordan Peterson in a while. I follow him on Instagram, and every now and then he posts stuff, but I think he had some problem with an addiction to benzodiazepines and ended up just kind of falling off the face of the earth for a little bit. Now he's back, but he seems a little worn out. And Ben Shapiro, yeah, he always has, he does funny videos. He does good stuff. I listen to all three of those guys every now and then. Mostly Joe Rogan, though. Yeah. All right, and Michael Shocker will spread the word. Yep. All right, just got a little PayPal notification. You know, it's funny. I'm actually doing a study. If any of you guys have ever used VR, I'll tell you about this just because while we're waiting for these stocks to keep moving. I am doing a study. If you guys have heard of the Oculus Quest 2, I just received a little email. I got paid for being part of a study. Basically, they gave me a free game, Player Population 1. I think that's what it's called. Population 1, something like that. And you just got to use the VR headset every now and then and fill out these surveys based off of how you've done with it. But does anyone else here use VR? I'm curious, because I just found out for the first time a couple of months ago how cheap it was and how good of an experience you can actually have, right? Because I'd used it years ago in my school's library, right, where they have a VR set for students to use. And it was kind of tough to use, right? Because they had all those cameras around the room, and it was kind of a janky setup, and it was all at the time very expensive. But the Quest 2 just costs $300. It's pretty cheap, so I decided to buy it, and it's been fun using that so far. Hello, happy to see you in live, says Maria Rome. I'm holding some COTY stocks. My average price is $8.39. Is it a dead play, Lom? Let's see. COTY. $8.39. How did you buy it? Or you must not have bought it today. Okay. Let's see what it's done over the past 90 days then. Huh. So why were you buying this? What happened with COTY? I guess maybe you bought it a while ago. But what was the catalyst? Why did COTY pump up? What was going on with COTY? What happened with it? I don't know. I have not looked into COTY that much, so I'm really not sure what to say about it. We can quickly look. Just looks like it's in a slight downtrend. Interesting pattern that it's forming here. Whoops. Let's get out of that. But take a look at this. Interesting. It's like a downwards facing cone. So, potentially if we could break up above this, if there was ever a chance that we were going to be breaking out of this pattern, you're going to want to be holding or buying when it's around, I guess, a price like this, actually, just because, potentially it will be bouncing off. That would be following what it's done for the past many, many months. Many times it's bounced off of that line. But, you never know when something's going to spike up 10%, and that's what could break it out into a big uptrend. We've seen that in the past. So COTY, I don't know if I would sell it right here, right? This actually looks like a somewhat promising level. Maybe you want to have a stop loss or something. This isn't financial advice. I'm just saying this off the cuff. What I would do if I was holding shares. Maybe you want to have a stop loss around 770 or something, just so that if you are going to keep seeing a continuation of this downward trending pattern, that you make sure to get out before you lose too much. But right now, it looks like we do have a decent chance of breaking out of this, just because we're bouncing off. That's not to be unexpected, right? It's possible that we will rebound over the course of the day, but that's just what I'm gleaning from looking at the chart. Just some quick TA. I don't know the catalyst or anything or what's going on with this stock. That was just answering a question. Given its volatile state, how long do you think DWAC will keep declining, says D. Bennett? It's tough to say. I think it'll keep declining until we see a big upshoot in price, right? I think that, there's no telling how long it will be until we do see that upshoot, just because a lot of people probably have gotten kind of fearful because of the manipulation that went on the first couple of hours. And if we do see that upshoot, it's possible that the institutions, or not the institutions, that the market makers and the brokerages will halt trading again. So really, I think that what we're going to have to see, if we want to see a continuation of the uptrend, is just an initial shoot up, right? Some initial volume getting us moving up again, and then a halt not happen. We're going to need to see the lack of a halt, which we'll see if we can get that. I would hope that we could. It's not guaranteed that we'll be able to, right? We might just keep declining throughout the course of the day, but really what I think is going to drive this up isn't, just one straight line. I don't think we're just going to move up in a straight line. Obviously, there's going to be room for volatility. I think that maybe as Trump talks about it more, if he says something about the social media app or platform or whatever he's doing, I think that we could start to see some appreciation in stock price because of that. And if that gets us moving back on an uptrend, I think that's when maybe the momentum traders will get back in. And what we're really going to need to see, though, is the lack of a halt. We don't want this stock getting halted just because it's moving up in a big way like it did this morning. So that's what I think about DWAC. All right. Do you genuinely believe in Foon, says Justin Cruz? Like I said, with Foon, I have no idea what relation as to these companies, right? I never said that I believed in Foon. As the potential to move up if it turns out that it is heavily tied to DWAC. But I just heard about this stock this morning, as I assume a lot of people did. I was not following it yesterday because it wasn't. It was up decently, but not massively, like DWAC was. And I think that potentially it got overhyped. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people saw the massive rise in DWAC and wanted to get in on something, and so really pumped up Foon during the first couple of minutes. And it looks like it was able to survive a bit longer before it got halted, right? It was able to survive until it got halted a couple of times on its way up, but I think that maybe because it was a bit newer, a bit of a lower price, people started piling into this until it got halted enough and eventually tanked. So I don't know about Foon. I'll have to do some research on it. I'll try and release a video today if I've got time, but I do have a lot of work to get done other than this stream, which we might be having to end somewhat soon. Maybe at 12:30 we'll have to call it. It's typically when I go have lunch, so we'll see. If nothing too interesting is happening with DWAC, then we'll call the stream for the day at that point. So let's see. C Cargo says DWAC is not a stock we can look at charts and determine anything. It's a true gamble play. Okay, yeah. No, I think that it hasn't really reacted too strongly to technical analysis. No, support levels didn't seem to mean much to it. At least right now, right? We did kind of start to consolidate where we were in the pre-market for a couple of hours, right? Around here. So It's not to say that you can't determine anything with the charts. Oftentimes, since it's just such a new stock, the patterns that are going to play out with it have yet to really reveal themselves. But you can definitely see a lot of volume being traded in this range, and kind of is sticking to this range, right? It got in here and bounced off, and it tried breaking through, couldn't do it. Now it's kind of consolidated here, likely because there was so much volume in the pre-market. So I don't know if charts mean nothing with DWAC. I think that they don't indicate as much as we would like, but obviously, when when a stock is liable, when it has the potential to just be moving up massively over the next couple of days to new all-time highs, when it's a new stock, the charts really can't tell you that much. They're telling us a little bit about where this is getting supported, but they're not really telling us if it's going to go down or up. I agree with you on that. So, Shadow Love says, "Do you do these live chats / streams every Friday?" This is my first live stream, so I don't know. I might do them every Friday. I might try doing them every morning. If we get enough interest in this, then I may end up doing them every morning. I think this would be a nice way to start the day, to go maybe from market open at 9:30 to maybe 12:30. On more interesting days like this, I might stay later until like 12:30, and then normal days when the lunch break tends to set in for most traders and trading is slowed down, I might stop at 12. So, I'll stick around for a little bit more. And C. Carcaro, you're doing great, by the way. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, I have made a lot of YouTube videos, so I'm used to talking on camera. My first couple were not good. Those are privatized, though. They do show volume and interest, but it can go down as fast as it went up. Definitely, yeah. No, it definitely can. Obviously, we saw that, but a lot of that, I think, was due to the halts. I think that a lot of that was because it was being manipulated. I don't think that we would have seen that if we didn't see the halts. I think that we probably would have continued moving up. I think that we'd currently be a lot higher than where we are if we hadn't seen those halts and all the uncertainty surrounding if it was going to keep getting halted. Now that it's stopped with the halts, right? It has kind of consolidated. We're going to have to see. I mean, it might move down. Obviously, a lot of people are up massively on the stock, so they may be wanting to take some profits on it. Pretty much everyone who was buying yesterday, and even most of the people who were buying in after hours yesterday are up on their money. People who bought in the pre-market day, most of them are too. But a lot of them might want to take profits, but a lot of them might be firm believers in the stock and want to hold it until it gets to 200, 500, who knows. Congrats on the first live stream. Thank you very much, Noble H. First stream, you're doing spectacular. Thank you, Ambition. SDC recently saw it was a potential short squeeze play. Any thoughts? Yeah, I looked at SDC in a couple of my videos. SDC, let me pull it up. Yeah, so what we really wanted to see was an actual uptrend. Right now that it's actually moving down back towards this $5 level, it's not looking like there's as much potential for a short squeeze. I'll pull up the Ortex data on SDC. It had the potential, right? It had a lot of interest in it. I was even seeing on my videos, people were, they must have been making bots commenting the same comment over and over. They said GME was the father of all short squeezes, AMC was the mother of all short squeezes, and SDC was the son of all short squeezes. And I think they were just trying to rally some momentum and volume into the stock. And maybe it may have been a manipulation on institutions' parts. It may have been institutions trying to trick people into buying shares of this thing that they were holding. I don't know. Just push it up a little bit. I really don't know why there were so many bots spamming that on my channel, but it was definitely getting touted as the son of all short squeezes, and we've really yet to see it, right? If we were going to see SDC make a big move, then I would potentially believe that it could be the son of all short squeezes, right? If it boosted up, 100%, 200%. But really, all we've seen is a move from 5 to not even to 7, I guess. So kind of a small, like a paltry move in comparison to what we've seen, like with real pumping stocks like DWAC and even like CEI. We saw CEI move up massively over the course of a couple of days. If we look back, let's look at the past 90 days. We just saw CEI shooting up and up and up. It started around, it started even before that, like 30 cents. Let's look at the past 180 days. Yeah, it was at 33 cents at one point, moved all the way up to 485. Now that's a short squeeze, if we ever saw one. But SDC, I haven't really seen too much from it, so I'm waiting on that. But Good idea, says Ari Molly. I think she's talking about the stream, or she or he. I don't know. Maybe first 2 hours, small caps watch. Yeah, definitely. And then morning, yes, ambition. 2020 says, yep. DWAC is such a new thing. I think these are very early doors to get, and I agree. I think that, yesterday especially, even today, there's the potential for still a lot more money to be made. And I'm not trying to tout it. I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to FOMO people into it, because it is up massively from where it was yesterday, right? It closed the day 2 days ago at like $9.99 or something like that. It closed around $10, and now it's at 90, so it's 9x'd. Obviously, that's a really big appreciation in price. So I can't just tell people, hey, buy this thing. If you were lucky enough to get in yesterday, I'm not looking to sell, right? I am currently holding 150 shares of it. I'm up 10K overall, 7K today. So I think that there is, obviously, if I'm still holding it, I think there's money to be made, right? If I was worried about it, I would sell right now and take the 10K profit. I think that there's a lot more money to be made with this. I think that if you look at the market cap, we can pull that up. Where did that go? I had that somewhere. Yep, here it is. So the market cap is 3 billion, 3.22 billion. And, for new people coming into the stream, I keep pointing this out, that the implied shares outstanding on this is only 36 million shares. Now, this is something that we've looked at quite a few times now, for those of you who are continuously watching, but I will point out that the presidential election results for 2020, 74 million people voted for Trump. Even if 90% of those people have no interest in the stock market, have no interest in this stock, if they do, don't know about it, don't care about it, that's 90% of people just gone right off the presidential election results. It would only take, there'd still be 7 million left who may want to purchase this stock, and they would only have to buy, let's get these in the same tab, 5 million shares each to buy up the entire market cap of, or to buy up all of the outstanding shares of DWAC. So I really think that there is a lot of room to run on this. I think people are just now starting to hear about it. If we pull up the Google Trends data, which I guess I got rid of, I'll just search for it again and pull it up for you guys. Right here we've got, on the past 7 days, this is DWAC stock search for yesterday, right? And this is today, up massively. So far more people are hearing about it today than did yesterday. And, they may have seen, hey, this thing pumped up to 175. It's on a bit of a dip. Maybe some people are going to start buying now. Maybe some people will wait until it dips a little bit more. But I think that once the momentum comes back in, that's when the real traders are going to get back in. As long as we don't get halted again, I think that that's when big money is going to start flowing into this. And there's really the potential to, we could make new highs. Obviously, this whole halting thing has put a bit of a damper on the day, so it's not guaranteed. We could make lows, right? We could continue moving down and make new lows on the day. I'm not saying we can't, but this seems like the kind of thing that could run up quite a bit. So we've got 118 viewers right now and 139 likes. Let's see if we can get the likes to 150. Let's see if we can get the likes to 150. Whoops, almost dropped the gum. Let's see if we can save my throat. My throat's going to be destroyed tomorrow. Yeah, Mort FB says we can't see the chart in the bottom right. Yeah, I am sorry about that. For my next stream, I'll take care of that. I'll make the face cam a little bit smaller. Obviously, I have the ability to, show it to you guys like this, and then my face just isn't in it. But I think that it's nice when streamers do show their face. I don't know. So, all right. Giselle James says, awesome that you start doing lives. I hope you consider doing it more often. I'm new trading and I've been following you for months. It's a great channel. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I think that I enjoyed this. This is fun. It's nice chatting with everybody in the chat. It's a chance to interact more than normal. So I'll definitely be doing more live streams, I think. Probably around 9 to 9:30 is when I'll start. And then likely close them off around, who knows, maybe 12, 12:30. Depends on the day. But, is my face still not showing? I think it is. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. I don't know. I was just saying that because Michael Shocker said, show us your face. So maybe I messed up on that. But, yeah, no, I think that, yeah, I'll be live streaming more often, probably. This is enjoyable. And it's a good opportunity to learn more as well, right? You guys are saying stuff in the chat. I would not have known that PHUN stock, which I will pull up, was involved with DWAC. Had someone in the chat not said something early on. And, I don't want to make it sound like a sure thing that it is, because I haven't actually been able to confirm that myself. When I did a Google search early in the morning, I'll do another one. Nothing really came up with regards to the news for PHUN stock. But it's possible that it is. Okay. And Samson Wang, I bought 200 shares of DWAC at $80. Do you think that I should hold it? Nice channel. I'm holding mine. So, I can't tell you what you should do, but I'm holding mine. I think that's likely to go up. I mean, you're obviously up pretty big. If 8,200, that's about a 25% increase. 107, we're looking closer to a 30% increase now. So, congratulations on that good trade. You probably bought at a pretty good point. I think a lot of people identified this as a good point to buy in because we had a lot of volume there in the pre-market. So, I think that was a good decision on your part. Who was it? Samson Wang. Yeah, nice. Maybe you want to take some off the table. Maybe like I did the same thing, right? I bought 200 at 24, sold 50 of them at 36. So for about a 50% profit is when I sold my first 50 shares, and I'm just holding on to the rest for the massive squeeze. Honestly, I wish I hadn't. 2020 hindsight, you see this thing pumped up a ton. Could have sold it for a lot more, but I'd likely still just be holding all of it, even if I hadn't sold back then. I would still just be holding all of it. I really do think there's a lot of potential with this one. Not guaranteed, I'm not trying to FOMO anyone into holding their shares or tell them that that's what they should do. It's just my opinion. Just my opinion. So, thank you. Hold the line. Steady, brother. Steady. Yeah. Well, it looks like we're dipping a little bit. Below 100. This kind of volatility almost looks like nothing. It's kind of crazy on the chart. Just the massive swings that this thing is taking in price, these bars look relatively normal, all things considered, but it's a massive percentage change in the price. Traders must be loving this, if they're actively trading it. I'm not. I've decided just to hold on to it. Don't want to get distracted, trading on stream and then potentially make some bad trades or do a bad job streaming. So I'm just focusing on one thing at a time right now. Now, that's interesting. Eligio Jacquire, butchered that pronunciation, but it says, my buddy Calcanis just made 1.1 mil, bought in early at 85 cents. What stock are you talking about? What stock was trading at 85 cents? I'm curious, Eligio. Okay. Now, we've got 122 viewers. Let's see if we can get a couple more likes on the stream. We've got 152 likes right now. Let's see if we can get that up to 170. That's going to be a tough one. We need 18 more. I don't know if we can do it. I feel like I've already asked for a lot of likes on this, and people have been doing it, so potentially a lot of the current viewers have already liked it. But yeah, let's see if we can get this up to 170. We're at 155 right now, so 15 more likes. 158. We are climbing. That's good to see. Yeah, and I think that a lot of the viewers may have already liked this video, so 170 might be far-fetched, but we'll see if we can do it. And that will help get the stream out to some more people, and we'll have some more interesting conversation in the comments. Jason Trent said, of course, this is a personal opinion, but after this week, where's there additional hype? I think it will go... Oh, when there's additional hype, I think it will go up more. No, I agree. Yeah, I think that this Friday and this weekend is actually going to be a great opportunity for DWAC stock, as Trump and his family are able to kind of put more news out about the fact that he's starting up a social media company. I think that a lot of people want to get interested in this, or get invested in this. I need more Thims, says Michael Shocker. Thumbs, thank you very much, man. Yeah, thank you. Let's try to we just need 9 more. So Jackson Lowry says, you have a decent voice, mate. Thank you very much. It's very sore right now from all the talking. I don't typically talk for hours at a time. We're getting to be this is getting to be the 3rd hour that I've been talking for. So thoughts on BBIG bouncing back. Let's take a look at BBIG. Looks like, yeah, we did bounce off of 505 at least. Now we're at 515. So it looks like they killed off the rally at 536. And now we're just kind of consolidating. I don't know. I don't want to see us go below 5. Obviously, 5 is a very strong level that we've held in the past. You can see here on the bottom left chart right here, this is BBIG. We have held 5 very nicely when we have hit it in the past. Of course, we've dipped below at times, but always come back in a strong way. This time, though, a lot of momentum may have been taken out of BBIG and moved into these other plays like DWAC, PHUN. This is a pattern that we've seen with a lot of stocks like CEI as well. And what was the other one? There was another one. AMC even has been down quite a bit. Let's look at AMC. A lot of these squeeze meme stocks are down massively, right? Down 7% on AMC, down 14%, or down 8% on CEI. It looks like it bounced back a little bit. Down 14% on BBIG. I think that a lot of the reason why that is because people have been taking their capital out of these over the past 2 days. You can really see have not been great for most of these stocks. Often or likely because some people wanted to take their capital and put it into these new squeeze, or not squeeze plays, but just huge momentum plays like DWAC, PHUN. And that's potentially where some traders are taking their money. Obviously, there are still going to be people in BBIG, CEI, and AMC for the long haul. And that's why we haven't completely crashed. But some people have, some people are just in it for the momentum, and more power to them. If they're just trading for the momentum, then they found some good ones to get into. Especially if they got in yesterday, they made a ton. Pretty much anyone in yesterday made a buttload of money on DWAC and PHUN. So let's see. All right. Brian Ayala. I'm still waiting on my Q order to be filled. On which stock? DWAC? Makes sense. Depending on where you place the limit, it might be just a little bit out of the money, a little bit too low. Useless Wizard of Oz keeps hitting the hold button. Have we been experiencing holds? Yeah. Let's see. Where have the holds been? We haven't had one for a while on DWAC. Fortunately, on PHUN, we may have been experiencing holds, though. Yeah, we may have been. The holds really killed these stocks today, right? These were running up huge, and then we just started getting holded every 5 minutes. And, sometimes some of the holds were lasting for 30 minutes. These were very long holds. So very unfortunate to see that we weren't able to continue the rally afterwards. It's very unfortunate, but that's how it is sometimes. The the markets are a kind of corrupt place, unfortunately, much like everywhere else. So Andy says, do you think FAMI will climb or reverse split? Let's take a look at FAMI. I am still holding my FAMI shares. They haven't been doing great, That's kind of one that I just threw in, decided to start holding the shares. I bought in worst time at 45 cents. Off the hype, but I do think that these are the kinds of plays, that you have to be a little patient with. They do have the potential to run back up. So I will still be holding the FAMI shares. Obviously, we were valued at a much higher price in the past. Obviously, if we start getting stock splits and all that, reverse splits, that's not great. It really decreases the share count that you've caught. Stock offerings would be the worst. Don't want to see that, but I am hopeful, right? They did have some good news of an acquisition of their forestry company, expansion of the business model into health and wellness, and some new supply chain partners that they're making deals with. So I think that, over the long term, FAMI can do decently. I do like to have a lot of these speculative penny stocks in my long-term speculative portfolio, right? I think that it's important to have different portfolios, some, more long-term retirement-based, just S&P, traditional tech companies, all kinds of stuff, finance companies. I think that's important for the long term, but I do think it's very fun and oftentimes a lot more profitable to be in on these spec plays. And a lot of them don't go the way you hope. A lot of them don't go very well, but I think that the ones that do, when something 20x's, it just wipes out all the losses that you've experienced with the losers, where you lose 50 or 90% of something, because you can have 20 of those losers and you only need one winner, where at 20x's to wipe out all of them. And that's happened for me before. I've had a couple of those that have just gone up massively. They've been huge winners. Sundial was one at one point. I bought in at 19 cents. Let's take a look at Sundial. Sold a lot of my shares. Used to sell a lot of covered calls on it, but it was up at $4. I bought in at 19 cents right here, actually, about a year ago almost. Right in at 19 cents. So been holding ever since. A lot of the shares did end up selling some for $1, and was selling a bunch of covered calls around here, making a lot of money. Now I'm holding off on that. I think that we're just waiting for the next big spike up in Sundial price. So That's for anyone who's interested in sundial. So what did we have up here? PHUN. Pull that back up. 2404. Okay. I need to pay more attention to the chat. So D Bennett says, new subscriber, would love to see continued coverage of DWAC. Definitely I'll be covering this. It's one that I'm invested in. You see I got 150 shares right here. So I'm definitely going to be covering DWAC in the future for sure. Jackson Lowry says, the reason Foon is up is because it's tied to Trump's new social media he's making. That's why they look the same, in my opinion. Yeah, that seems very likely. It makes a lot of sense that they've just been trading. It's strange. It's almost like algorithms are in complete control of a lot of these stocks. A lot of cryptos tend to trade in very similar patterns to each other. And it's very interesting to see how, if you look at the Foon chart and you look at the DWAC chart, they are almost identical, right? You see this big spike up. On the halts, they crash and then have a little rebound right here, and then spike down a bit more, have another rebound, and then just consolidate for a little bit. DWAC has a little bit more upwards momentum. I think that more people know about it than know about Foon. So I think that it could potentially be rising more than Foon, but we'll have to keep an eye out on Foon as well, right? Foon might have... I should look at Foon's market cap. Let's see Foon's market cap. And this is interesting. $631 million right now. $631 million market cap. So, still pretty low. Honestly, might not be the worst idea to get into this. I might do it. Let's see, the implied shares outstanding, I don't know. But the shares outstanding is 76 million. So double DWAC. But smaller market cap right now. Most likely why it was able to move up so massively to about 3x, a little bit more than 3x on market open during the first about 30 minutes. Until, around 10 when it crashed. So, one to look at for sure. I'm definitely keeping an eye on Foon. I'm just not sure what the tie as to DWAC and Trump's new media company is. I think that if it has a strong enough tie, then that could be good. But it might be one of the ones that ends up sinking a little bit, right? DWAC seems like the kind of thing that has some longevity because it's literally going to be the SPAC that buys out Trump media. So it will be directly tied to Trump. We'll have to see with PHUN. Can anyone actually tell me what Foon has to do, what PHUN has to do with Trump's social media platform? I'm curious. Patrick Brock, you said it has something to do with it. I'm curious what that thing it has to do with it is. All right, now we got 130 viewers. We only need 4 more likes to get to 170. We were trying a bit ago. We got to 166. Let's see a couple more viewers come in. Get this thing to 170. Let's try it. We'll see what we can do. We're at 166 likes right now. We only need 4 more people to like the stream. That would be much appreciated if they could. Now, let's see. Maybe if enough people like the stream, then we can see another rally on DWAC and PHUN. I'll throw in PHUN too. Maybe we can see that. 171. Nice, guys. Awesome job. Thank you very much. There we go. Lost some viewers, gained some likes. That's the price you have to pay. All right. So BBIG, let's see. Are we bouncing off of 5? Yeah, we're still consolidating. We're going to have to see what happens with it. CEI is looking to be doing pretty well. We're getting close to making highs of day. We bounced nicely off of $1.40. That's exactly what we want to see, right? We don't want to see ourselves sticking around there for too long. We want to see big volume, which we did see, which I'm not sure if the camera is quite capturing. Here we go. I'll just move myself off for a second. Yeah, you can see big volume kicked in, started moving us up around here as well. And we're just continuing to spike upwards, hopefully making new highs of day on CEI. I know a lot of people have been buying into this ever since the big dip. So, if Zach Morris tweets about it again, that would be really good for the stock. Maybe he did. Might check on that in a second. Get myself back on the stream. Let's check Zach Morris out on Twitter. Let's see. So we got Zach Morris right here. We're going to CEI search. Okay, 1 of 1. So where is it? So he retweeted 14 minutes ago. Yeah, someone tweeted about CEI and Zach Morris retweeted it. So let's see where that lines up with 14 minutes ago. What time was that? Let's pull that up. It was at 12:07. So 12:07. Okay, so just a couple of minutes. Maybe it took Zach Morris a couple of minutes to retweet. Just right before this massive swath of volume came in. So obviously, Zach Morris has something to do with CEI going up. Nice. All right. Well, thank you, Zach. We'll put you on the other screen for now. Okay. So DWAC, I guess you have the Google Trends again. Search volume has decreased a bit. Obviously, search volume tends to be the highest around market open, especially when this thing was making new highs at 175. Very impressive numbers right there. We'll have to see if we can get back there, right? We have started another uptrend, it looks like. Hopefully we don't get shot back down, and hopefully if we start shooting up, we don't get halted again. That would be very bad to see. Pump the likes for our top-notch numbers, guys, said Shadowlove. Thank you very much. Looks like we did it. Yeah, we got to 178, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And Cat King Radio says, hope this goes to $200 plus. So do I. I'm holding a bunch. I'm holding 150 shares right here, up 11K on my position when I bought in at 24 yesterday. So hoping this goes up quite a bit. I'm hoping this goes, yeah, I could see it getting to 500 if it got as big as AMC. It would not, I'm not saying, in the next couple of days, but over the next couple of weeks to months as more and more news comes out about this. If we look back at AMC, let's take a look at the year. AMC did not all happen in one day, right? It had an initial pump up, which we may not be done with yet, right? AMC's was somewhat short-lived, right? We ended up dipping down, consolidating for a couple of months before having another massive rally, and I'm not saying that the exact same thing will happen with DWAC, but it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a kind of similar pattern where we have a big pump up. Maybe we get higher than this on the day. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just consolidate around 100 for a while. Maybe it could take a couple of days or weeks, however long, until there's a new catalyst pumping this up. Maybe Trump talks about it and says, hey, buy the company, something like that. You never know what he's going to say. He might say buy it. So if he does, that could really pump the price up. And then we could see another big rally in price as long as they don't halt it again. That's what we hate to see, the halts. Those are the worst. Those really just killed the stock off in early hours. If you guys were with us for that and you saw for yourselves. Jim Cramer is going to pump this later today, also guaranteed. Maybe. He might. He might do it. Yeah, but I am hopeful for a much higher price target with DWAC. If you look at the market cap, it's still relatively low. 3.66 billion, that doesn't sound low, but for Trump's social media company, it just doesn't sound like enough. It doesn't sound like enough to me. I think that we could do better than that. Let's pull these over to the side. We don't need them with us right now. Get rid of all these onto the other screen. There we go. Now everything's organized. All right, so it looks like we're giving back a little bit of the gains we got on that candle. That's fine. There's going to be a lot of volatility, a lot of people trading back and forth, especially, a lot of people may have been buying around 80, like, I forget the name of that person who was buying at 80, but they were buying at 80, they were at 100, saying, should I sell? And, I never give financial advice on this channel. I just tell you guys my opinion and what I'm doing. Try to be as transparent as possible with regards to that, but I will show you something that a lot of you may not have seen. We probably have a lot of new viewers here. We'll show you how to get free stocks on Webull, on M1 Finance, Public, and Robinhood in the description of this live stream or any one of my videos. You can click on these links and get free stocks. It's a pretty good deal. All you have to do is open up a brokerage account. Some of them require that you deposit money, but it's free stocks up to $2,300 with Webull, up to 30 with M1 Finance, or guaranteed 30 with M1 Finance. I think it's just a guaranteed free $30, up to 70 with Public, and up to 500 with Robinhood. I have all of these brokerages. I like them. They're nice, so that's how you get some free stocks if you want. Foon is expected to be involved with the development of the Trump social media. It has not been confirmed yet from what I've found, but highly likely. Okay, Patrick Brock, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, because I will likely not be getting involved in PHUN then. If it's not yet confirmed, then that is just the potential for far too much of a loss. Just because they're involved in the development, I don't know if they'll have as much staying power as DWAC, which is literally the Trump company, or what's going to be purchasing Trump media. So Even if they are involved, I see, there could be some upside, but there could also be just a return to like $1, if they end up not being involved with it, if that ends up just being a rumor. So I probably will be staying away from PHUN if that's the case, if they're just rumored to be involved with the Trump social media company. How long are you holding DWAC for, says KTZ? How long am I holding it? I don't know. I mean, we'll really have to see. I'll probably... here's the thing. When I hold a stock like this, this is how I did it with Dogecoin. This is how I do it with, a lot of the investments that I make. I hold it for either eternity or until it's such a life-changing amount of money and it outweighs so much of my portfolio that it doesn't make sense to have so much invested in just that. That's when I'll sell some. So with DWAC, we'd probably, before I sold any of it, I already sold 50 shares of it just because I was taking a little trade on the account, not thinking about how profitable this thing really could be over the long term. Also, knowing that it was very volatile yesterday, I sold a little bit at 36, bought at 23. Now I'm thinking I'll probably hold until the profit and loss is like 50K or something. I don't know exactly. Maybe like $200 or $300 per share. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know exactly how long I'm going to hold it for. This isn't so much of a trade anymore. Now it's more of a long shot, big gambly investment that I'm making, kind of like with Dogecoin, right? Sometimes you have to take those risks. I've found that oftentimes they're the most profitable because they can go up so monumentally, right? And I would not sell all of my shares at once. Most likely, I would probably just be selling, 50 at a time at higher and higher price points. Like at $200, I'm still probably not selling. I would probably wait until like $400 or $500, maybe $4, until I sold. Von Eric says, just want to say thank you, Rob. I made 8K in 3 days just by watching your videos. Your info's accurate, bro. You're welcome, Von Eric. I'm glad you can make some money. But no, I'm not actually, telling anyone how to trade, right? I'm just giving you guys my opinion. Hopefully, no one's listening to me and just trading based off of what I say, right? It's nice to, have some extra info, but definitely not financial advice I'm giving away, Von Eric. So keep that in mind. Thanks for sharing, says KTZ. Yep, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Yeah, it's a tough decision deciding when to sell. I did have a 50% price target in mind, and that's why I sold 50 of the shares around 50%. At 36, I saw it bump up a lot, and that seemed like a good place to be taking some profit. So I'll zoom out to the chart yesterday. I bought in around 24 right here. I made a video about it when it was at 17. And in the video, I was saying, I probably would wait till, tomorrow or the end of the day to buy anything. But as I looked more into it and the actual market cap of this thing and how much potential it had, and then saw it blast through the $20 resistance so easily, I decided to get in on it at 24. And this is my update on that position, I guess. Then I did end up selling out a bit at 36 right here, right before it then pumped up to 50. And that kind of strengthened my resolve. I was like, all right, this thing obviously has some staying power. The fact that it's just moving up so much, a lot of people are getting in on this. And I decided not to drop any more shares for a while. So, Jason Cropper, it will leave blood on the streets. They do not know yet. It will leave carnage. What is this conversation? What did Jason Cropper say? DWC will go insane. This is just the start. Watch. Man, my throat needs some more gum. Jeez. Maybe I should stop streaming soon. 12:30. I think Jordan Israel Peterson is responding to Jason Copper, just explaining how high DWAC is going to go in his opinion. So that's good. It's good to see a lot of people have a lot of conviction in these plays, because that's really what you need. You need to see, a lot of people interested in them and willing to hold through the dips as well. Because when people drop their shares on the dips, they end up losing money oftentimes. And these stocks are very volatile, right? Buying at 175 might not look like a good decision right now. Especially, it definitely didn't look like a good decision when this thing was at 70, just a couple of hours later. But who knows what it's going to look like in a couple of days, Same kind of could have been said if you bought at 50 and then it crashed down to almost below 40 at a certain point. So, I'm not saying we're going to keep running up and make new highs today. It's not guaranteed, but we are slowly trickling up, which we like to see. Very nice to see us slowly trickling up. Fretwork says, I am beyond pissed at Robinhood. I had a stop loss set at 17 on PHUN, and it's sold at $8. Yeah, so let's see. So it's possible that happened because of the halts, right? And because it just, if you're looking at this bar or at this chart in the top right, this is PHUN. It may have just, dropped down massively, and then that's just where your order ended up executing, right? A lot of people probably had stop losses, and when it opened back up, it opened lower than those stop losses, so it might have just closed out. Sometimes the halts mess with people, yeah. Jason Cropper says, I'll be loading on all real dips on DWAC without fail. Sylvia Zepeda says, hello, thank you for sharing. You're welcome. And Fretwork13 said, yeah, I lost all profits. Yeah, that's unfortunate for PHUN. A lot of people definitely got screwed by the halts, as did a lot of people on DWAC, I'm sure. It's just that DWAC was running up yesterday, and a lot of people were getting in then, so a lot of people are still green, despite the halting, the kind of manipulation that we saw earlier today. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. We're going to have to see what happens with these throughout the course of the day. I will be watching them. We may have to end the stream somewhat soon, guys. My throat is starting to wane. It's starting to fail. Yeah, Travis Von Allen, you should explain stop limits to him. So when you set stop limits. Okay, sure. So when you set a stop loss, oftentimes it's just in order for a market sell to execute when a stock drops below a certain price, in which case, yeah, it makes sense that your thing would sell at $7 or $8, like you said, because it did drop below. Maybe you set a price at 17, it dropped below, and then the next open available price was at, next market price was at $8 or $9. So that's probably where it sold. But if you have a stop limit, it really wouldn't have helped you much in this situation because it did just drop down and has not been back up to 17. But if you set a stop limit, you could say, if this thing drops below 17, then set a limit order for $17. So only sell it for $17 or more. Or, you could set the limit slightly lower, like $16.90. And then the order wouldn't execute for any less than that. However, you'd still just be holding the shares with a limit order now to sell it at like $17. So it might not have helped in this situation. The halts really messed things up. They really shouldn't have done that, in my opinion. Okay. JBoss 611. I'm thinking PHUN will still go up in aftermarket. They can't halt there. It might. It might do that, yeah. And Travis Von Elling bought DWAC at 41, sold half at 119, and letting the rest ride. I'll sell half of my current position at 195 to 200. Okay. And continues, stop loss initiates a market order. The stop limit will prevent you from selling below that. Your bag hold, but you'd have a chance at redemption. Yeah, that's right. Potentially you can get back in. If you did sell at a market order, then we ended up dropping below even that price, which I think he was talking about sold at 7 or 8. So we did end up dropping down to 5 or 6. So there's the potential to get back in. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we are dipping now. Okay. So the Zach Morris retweet wasn't enough. We're going to need to see a real Zach Morris tweet to get this thing riding higher. All right. And DWAC is continuing to trend upwards. Honestly, guys, even what we're seeing here, though it doesn't look like much in comparison to what we saw in the beginning of the day, these are still very significant price movements. You can see that just over the past couple of minutes, we've moved from 99 to 109. That's a 10% increase, more than a 10% increase in the stock price. So still very impressive movements that we're seeing, all things considered for any stock. And the only reason it doesn't look too significant is because we had such drastic movements in early morning trading. So yeah, and Fretwork says, yeah, the halts messed me up so bad today. I sent an email to Robinhood complaining about how they cost me over $1,000. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, the halts, those were really horrible. A lot of people lost a ton of money because of the halts. So Twitter is saying Trump just spoke. DWAC going to 120. Let's see if we can find that on Twitter. Let's see if we can search for DWAC. The only thing I found is this. So 50 minutes ago, the street makes backs great again. I'm going to have to see. I don't know. This is just a search for DWAC on Twitter. I typically don't use Twitter that often, so maybe you guys know where to look on Twitter. I'm not too sure. I'm going to pull that away. Michael Shocker, just saw my average price is also 24.16. Did we just become best friends? Yeah, that's funny, man. 24.18, very close there. So awesome buy, awesome buy. I think it was a limit order that I placed on it, but nowhere too specific, right? I just saw that it was pumping up massively, and I just put a limit order in that I knew would get filled, and got in around somewhere around here. I forget exactly which bar it was, but yeah, that's cool, Michael. All right. Noble H, thanks for the stream and info, Rob. Everyone be sure to subscribe and like his awesome daily videos. Yes, thank you, Noble H. Much appreciated. Sounds like he might be heading out. So, yeah, definitely, if you haven't subscribed yet, I will likely be ending the stream soon. My throat is very sore. I don't want to completely kill it, although there is the weekend in between now and Monday, so I don't have the most pressure to record anything tomorrow. But, I typically do daily videos every weekday, every day that the market's open, talking about the top plays of the week. And just covering individual stocks oftentimes, but I will be definitely live streaming more if that interests you guys. It looks like it does. We've gotten a lot of views on this. Many likes. We're almost at 200 likes. Let's see if we can pump this up to 200 likes. We're at 193. We have 171 viewers. We're really gaining a lot of traction. Let's see if we can pump this up to 200 likes. We're at 194. Very close to it. I would like to see that, before the stream. If we can get to 200, then I'll keep the stream going for a little bit, for a couple more minutes. 202, all right. Well, we'll stick around for a little bit. How about that? Obviously, people are starting to pile in. We're getting more and more viewers. If you look at the analytics I have pulled up over here. So Jason Tran says, if you are an early adopter or before this weekend, I think you'll be in a good place. Majority will jump on next week or the following weeks when more information comes out. Yeah, I think that's what we're waiting for. A lot more information needs to come out about this, and I think that it's not hugely out of the question to give the company the current valuation that it has, right? Of $3.66 billion market cap. Let's refresh this, actually. $4.074 billion market cap. I don't think that's out of the question for a company with so many likely followers. Basically, as soon as this thing releases a platform, I think tens of millions of people are going to get it because Trump is behind it. So I think that, yeah, it's not out of the question to give that valuation to a company. I mean, it's a ton of free advertising and very devoted customers, most likely. So, I think that $4 billion is a fair valuation to give it before the weekend, before we know anything about what's going on. But that's not to say we couldn't continue rising higher. Obviously, we have been ever since the halts have stopped. We've just been kind of trailing up. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's always possible that we'll see some big red bars, which we wouldn't want. But I would not be scared away by those, right? I'll be holding for a long time, most likely. We'll have to see what happens with it. All right. Are you thinking Power Hour will be read on DWAC profit taking before the weekend? Possible. I mean, a lot of people are going to be looking at this from the perspective that they've made a buttload of money, right? Some people were buying below $20 yesterday. Some very lucky people. I wish I'd bought at 17, but I just wasn't too sure about it at the time. I needed to do a little bit more research before I was convinced. However, a ton of people are up massively on this. But I do think that a lot of the buying pressure has come from individuals, not necessarily institutions. I'm not going to be taking profits unless, hey, if this thing pumped up to $1,000 a share, then sure, I'd take profits on it. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that it's going to be at a level that all the people who bought into it are willing to sell out, right? I still think that the market cap will probably be low enough to justify. That's not the right market. This is Foon. So DWAC, I think that the market cap will still be low enough so that people will be able to justify getting in potentially during Power Hour. It's possible we'll see a little bit of a sell-off. There's really no telling with this, right? This is a big gamble play, and it's tough to say where the action's going to go minute to minute. But over the long term, I think that we will see an uptrend. That's my opinion on it, though. Not guaranteed. And let's see. Michael Shock, you're kicking butt. Do what your heart tells you. Just keep at it. Thank you, man. I definitely will. Definitely will. Now we have two DWAC Yahoo Finance things. I'll close one. Okay, Travis Von Elling, does that include the warrant shares too? Yeah, so let me pull that up again. So let me show you guys the outstanding shares that this has. So shares outstanding is 28.75 million, and implied shares outstanding is 36 million. So if we actually look at the footnotes for this, you can see that just regular shares outstanding is taken from the most recently filed quarterly or annual report and is calculated using the shares outstanding, blah, blah, blah. Implied shares outstanding of common equity, assuming the conversion of all convertible subsidiary equity into common, which I believe includes warrants. So implied shares outstanding of 35.94 million. Let's just do the math on that real quick. Let's pull out a calculator and multiply that by the price. 35.94 times 113. Yeah, so the market cap is including the warrants because that gives us about 4.6 billion off the rough math that we, or 4.06 billion off the rough math that we just did. So yeah, this market cap is including the warrants, I believe. All right, let's get rid of this screen for now. Back to DWAC. We're doing pretty good on the day. That's nice to see. Thanks for explaining. Sure thing, man. Authentic Monkey, more volume coming in Power Hour, most likely buying, in my opinion, for DWAC. Yeah, no, I think that could be the case. I think that as long as we don't keep getting halts, then the pressure for this will mostly look bullish. I don't see a massive sell-off just because I think the hype is still building around this. I think there's still a lot of people who are getting interested in it and buying into it. And I just don't see big sellers stepping in, right? I don't see shorts stepping in for sure. Let me pull up the Ortex for this real quick. I think that the shorts are probably very scared of this after what happened yesterday. They know this thing can go up massively. The short interest has actually decreased since we last looked at it. It was around 3% earlier for DWAC. It's now only up 0.22%, so some shorts have covered their positions. So, yeah, I don't think shorts are going to be affecting this too much, at least for a while. DWAC to $1,000 soon. My whole family is still waiting for their Webull deposits to go through to buy in. Yeah, I know. That's the annoying part. A lot of the times with these brokerages, it takes some time to get your deposit through. I think there are some like Robinhood that do it pretty instantly. If you're maybe if you're a gold member, they do it instantly, and sometimes it can be worth it, right? Because it costs I think $5 to become a gold member per month, and then you get instant deposits up to a certain amount. So I think that could potentially be a good avenue for some people. But if you guys are interested in getting some free stocks, you can get with these links in the description of this live stream and all my videos. You get up to $2,300 with Webull, up to a guaranteed $30 with M1 Finance, up to $70 with Public, up to $500 with Robinhood. All you have to do is click on these links, and you get free stocks for signing up for these brokerage accounts. And some of them require that you make an initial deposit. But all you have to do is see there's $30 waiting for you in M1 Finance, $70 with Public, up to $500 with Robinhood. So, there's some opportunities out there to get some free money in this live stream. If you guys are interested in that, if you want some additional money to buy DWAC or whatever stocks you want with, I've gotten some good stocks in the past from Webull, at least. I've gotten a share of Apple. It was like 500, or not 500, it was $150, I think, around there. Fractional share of Facebook for $150, share of AMC for $40. I've gotten some good stuff. A lot of them are like $3 or $4, but sometimes you do get a good share every now and then. David C. Trump will use this tech to make daily stock move again. Yeah, it is interesting. Trump used to be pretty involved in the stock market. He used to watch it a lot and talk about it. So he could definitely use to pump this company. I would not be surprised if he kind of took after Elon Musk in that way and started pumping stuff up. That's definitely something that's popularized Elon a lot, in the finance community at least. So Trump might be looking to make his way into the finance community and start pumping stuff. That could be good for DWAC especially. Yeah, DWAC. See, it stands for Digital World Acquisition Corp. And this is a SPAC. Someone was asking about what does it stand for, I think. And this will eventually change, right? Once they actually acquire Trump Media, whatever his company name is, they'll likely change the ticker symbol to something more aligned with the company. Maybe TRMP or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me if they did that. But eventually this ticker symbol will change. I don't think it'll affect, the shares or whatnot, because it'll basically just be them acquiring Trump's company. And then I think that and the ticker will change, and that's about it. The price should stay the same and all that. But it will almost certainly drive up maybe more interest in the stock as they have a better ticker, because studies have shown over the long term that tickers that have more recognizable names tend to do better over the long run. Right? So it'll definitely be good to have a new ticker on this thing when that does go through. That'll be nice. Jordan Israel Peterson, the halts aren't bad. It's actually the actual companies requesting it sometimes. I think you mean the brokerages, yes. And the SEC issues them because it believes the investing public may be at risk. Yeah, maybe. I don't know what investing public is at risk from this thing going up. Potentially, people who are buying in at astronomical prices, maybe. But I think that it would have continued to rise. And obviously, there would have been some kind of peak with something that's rising that much. But I think that it would have been much higher. I think that a lot of people would have made a lot more money. Some people would have gotten hurt for sure. But people definitely got hurt who were buying in right before the halts. And then the halts, kind of created some confusion and uncertainty and doubt, some fear around this, some FUD basically. So I do think that the halts were probably a bad thing overall for the stock price, and maybe more people were hurt because of them than otherwise would have been. People were putting in their money regardless of what the price was. They might have put it in a lot higher, and maybe it crashed to down 50% again. But it crashed more than 50% after all these halts. So the halts definitely weren't good in my opinion. Mecha Bender, yeah, I mildly regret giving into my FOMO, but once this thing surpasses 159, I'll be happy again. Lol. Yeah, no, that's a steep price, but it's tough. You never know what the markets are going to do. No one could have foreseen that we were just going to get halt after halt after halt, pushing this thing down. It was at 175. It may have continued shooting up a lot. If we didn't get those halts, and 159 could have been a great buy if we saw 300 or something. It's not guaranteed. Who's to say? But I definitely don't like the halts. And yeah, I think that, in my opinion, this isn't me telling you to hold your shares or whatever. I think that 159 will be a good price at some point to have gotten in at. I think that there's still a lot of growth that this company has to do, and not even on a fundamental level. Who knows about the fundamentals, but just share count wise and how many people are likely going to want to own some of this company, to be a part owner with Trump, I think that's a lot of people. Right, I have gotten emails about how to open up a brokerage account from some of the viewers of this channel because they want to buy into this company specifically. So people are getting invested for the first time because they want to buy into this company. I think there's a lot going for it. What do you think it will close at? That's impossible to say. If I knew where it would close, I'd either be buying or selling shares if I knew where it would close. I think it's probably going to close over 100. There's no telling. Maybe it'll get pushed down below. I would really have liked to see some options being traded for the stock. Unfortunately, there's no options traded for it. Not yet, but yeah, I think I see it over 100. I think that we might see some volatility, but I think over 100 is a good price for it. That's just my opinion. I don't know for sure. Digital Acquisition Corp. Just made 62 cents in 1 second. Woohoo, says Shadowlove. Nice. Nice. DWACW especially, says Okay. I can't. Alishash Jamal. How about that? There we go. DWACW. We'll look at that. The warrants for DWAC. Yeah. So, where the warrants will close. I mean, it's kind of just in relation to where DWAC will close. So if DWAC closes at 100, then I think the warrants could close above 40. I think that could be a good close above 40, right? I'm saying above 40. It could be anywhere above 40. I'm not sure how far this thing will run. It's very possible that we'll get another rally going. It's possible that we'll see some more halts and that this thing will get shut down. I hope not, but it's possible. And for those of you who are wondering, DWACW, the thing we were just looking at, are the warrants for DWAC, which were not halted, actually. So that's good. They weren't halted, so they were allowed to continue trading. But fewer people know about them, so... You guys know why DWAC has no options? Okay, so it doesn't have options because it's relatively new to trading, right? It was also small market cap. It was just a couple $100 million yesterday or 2 days ago. So it will get options eventually, I think. It just needs to go through some time. The market makers actually need to add those options. But there was no demand for this company beforehand, right? No one was trading it. No one was trying to buy options for it. So the market makers had no reason to invest in options for it. They had no reason to provide options for it. And so they didn't. And now that a lot of people are interested in it, it's almost guaranteed that market makers are going to start making options for it available to people, because oftentimes it's the market makers and institutions that make the most off of options, selling them to people. People oftentimes make bad options trading decisions. So yeah, we're almost guaranteed to see at some point, probably in the next 30 or 40 days, options being added for DWAC is what I would expect. Do you happen to know what DWACW exercise price is? No, I do not, Travis. Unfortunately not. I do not know what the exercise price of the warrants are. I can look that up, try to find that, but it might be tough to find. Okay, they have a exercise price of $11.50. So there you go, right here. Pull it up for you just for a brief second. DWAC has an exercise price of $11.50. So there you go. DWAC to new highs in power hour for sure, says Donnie Popovich. Maybe. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I would love to see that. I would love to see new highs on DWAC. If we're looking at my position, we've got 150 shares currently, bought in at 24.18, 12 grand, profit overall, 9 grand on the day. So I would love to see new highs on this stock, obviously. Yeah. And PHUN looks, I mean, it looks promising. I'm tempted to get in. But because I think, we were talking about it in the chat, it's not guaranteed that there's going to be an association between them and the Trump media company. So I'm wary to get in. I'm not totally sure if I'm going to end up doing that. Not totally sure about it. Yeah. All right. Now, guys, I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. I will be right back. And I'm going to try muting the mic. I don't know if that worked. But I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so I think I should be back. I don't know if the mic was muted that whole time or what, but hopefully this is how everything was before. Can you guys hear what I'm saying? Hopefully. I hope so. Yeah. Let me know in the comments. Can anyone hear my voice? It'd be nice to know if I wasn't just talking to oblivion. Hopefully. Loud and clear, says Travis. Thank you very much. Nice. Awesome. Was I ever muted, by the way, though? Hold on 1 second. Am I muted if I do this? I wonder if I'm muted right now. Am I still talking right now? Can you guys hear what I'm saying, or am I... Is this... You can hear what I'm saying. Okay. All right. Well, that clearly doesn't work then, so I never should have tried muting it. You weren't muted. Nice. Nice. That's good. Okay, well, we are still moving up. We're just continuing on this uptrend with DWAC. That's nice to see. Need another piece of gum. Throat's killing me. All this talking, man. Never talked this long before. At least not solely me talking. Usually I'm having a conversation with someone if I do. All right. So of the two, I will admit that if you were to buy when it closed yesterday, Foon was the way to go, because up 600%. Pretty good. Although DWAC is not far behind at 140%, so still a very good buy. Shouldn't say it's not very far behind. That's pretty far behind 600%. All right, let's see. What can we pull up on DWAC? What have we got? Will DWAC see $500? Fox Muddler asks. I think we could. I think the calculation we did on that, the market cap for $500 would be... Let's pull it over here. You can see the current market cap at 110 is $4 billion. So if you 5x that, it would be slightly lower than $40 billion market cap, $35 billion market cap maybe, which I don't think is out of the question. Or no, sorry, wait. Sorry, you'd only have to 5x it. My bad. We'd be looking at under... we'd be looking at about a $20 billion market cap. My bad. I'm getting tired, man. $20 billion market cap would be looking at about $20 billion. So I definitely think we could see $500 on DWAC. Would not be out of the question, in my opinion. And Cat King Radio says, easy going to 200, maybe 300 or 400 also. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think that as more people pile into this, we'll likely see those higher prices. Keep in mind, guys, it's not a guarantee. I'm not saying... this isn't free money, right? There's always a risk in the stock market. You never know what's going to happen. We expected this thing to just be shooting up all day. However, the halts really serve to push it down. So you never know what people are going to do or how things are going to change or be manipulated. You don't know. And it's not just free money for the taking, right? There's always risk involved. Unless we're talking about the free stocks that you can get on Webull. You can get those for $2,300 for free on Webull. I know we just keep getting new viewers on, so I have to keep saying it for me. You can get 2 free stocks if you click on the link in the description of this live stream or any video that I have posted. You get free stocks. It's a good deal. Webull and M1 Finance, Public, Robinhood, all of those you can get free stocks for. So I'll just put that out there, let you guys know about that. That's the only risk-free thing available from the look of it, right? Doesn't cost anything. All right, and Shadow says, hello, we hear you. Yeah, you might be watching the stream a bit later, though, Shadowlove. You might not be on the current live version of it. Because I was talking about that a while ago. You might have paused at some point and be a couple minutes back. You might have to click live again. All right. So, which hour is the power hour? The last hour of the trading day. So from 3 to 4 is power hour. So right around here is where power hour will be for DWAC. We'll hopefully be seeing, a big increase in price over that time frame. Hopefully we won't fall too much before then. Likely some people might want to make the bet that over the weekend this thing moves up in a big way, and that's what would probably cause a lot of people to be getting in right around then. So it's possible that we'll see a big increase. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, I'd say easy 200 for DWAC, says D. Bennett. Yeah, I mean, we almost got there this morning before all the halts. We got to 175. So I think, 200 easy, assuming, there's no more shenanigans going on with halts. Or who knows what else they're going to throw at us, right? We'll have to see. I mean, I will definitely be keeping an eye on this stock Monday very close. Another live stream will likely be going out around 9:30. We'll be talking about it because even in the pre-market, you can see there was quite a bit of action from 9 to 9:30. We saw a massive run up. I got here. I started a bit late, right? I think I started around 9:40 or something like that. I was a bit late. We were already halted for a while before I actually started the stream. So, can I get hit as a day trader by trading the same stock multiple times in a day? Yes, you can. That is what happens. That's what you must do, actually, to be marked as a day trader. You can trade before you're marked as a pattern day trader. I assume that's what you're talking about. Yeah, they have 3-strike protection. Yep, but if you go past that, you can disable it and go past it, and then they will mark you as a day trader, and then you just can't make day trades unless you have $25,000 or more in your account. So that's what marks you as a pattern day trader. You have to do it 4 or more times within the same 5 trading day cycle, right? Like the same trading week. So yeah, that's why Robinhood has 3-strike protection. They stop you one before. All right. And it looks like we're experiencing a nice bounce off of 100 for DWAC. It looks like we dumped down a little bit. And this is nothing out of the ordinary, right? We saw the same kind of stuff going on yesterday as well. We would see little rallies, little dumps, big rallies, little dumps, rallies, dumps. So I'm not too worried about this. I'm really not too worried about it getting low to any price, right? I think this is just going to be a big company regardless. You know, the first couple of days, I think there's a lot of fear to get into it. I think that a lot of people who want to get into it aren't. I think that a lot of people see that it's gone up so much over the past day that they're not interested in buying in. And I think that sometimes the stock just has to settle at a price like this for a while. It could take, you know, the weekend for people to realize maybe they want to get in on this despite the really high price when they actually have time to do some research and look at the market cap of the stock and the shares outstanding. It could be that people start coming in on Monday. Over the course of that week, as long as we continue trading in this range and don't dump massively, people might realize that there is a floor on this, that we're probably not going to dump it that much. We're not going to maybe go below $70. They can identify that as a support, which actually, you know, if we do want to start getting technical about it, we can probably identify $70 as a support level right there. You can see that we traded around it for a bit in pre-market, and then that's actually where we bounced off of our big dip. So if we were to see any decrease, I think 70 might be a good place to stop it. Also, this range right here, which we've drawn earlier. Basically, we just saw a lot of volume over there. In pre-market, it was really a combination of 70 and this range that helped get us into the upwards trend that we're now experiencing. All right. And I will pull over Ortex for you guys for a second, just so you can see. This is DWAC. Short interest is down 72% on the day. Shorts are covering. Shorts are afraid of this thing. They see that we're moving back up. So they're getting out of this. Yeah, they don't want to be here anymore. Shorts are running away. That's what we like to see. Shorts escaping. They're probably escaping with a pretty hefty loss. I mean, maybe they were shorting around here, but see, this info is showing that shorts sorry, not this. This is showing that shorts have decreased their position on the day, right? This is the day's change. So 72% today. That means there are fewer shorts today than there were yesterday. And you know, anyone shorting yesterday was shorting DWAC at a much lower price. So they've obviously lost a lot of money if they're covering now. I think they see that we have consolidated and bounced off of 70, continued to have some support around here, around 80 to 90, and are on an uptrend again. I think shorts are getting out. They know they could rally. Do you think PHUN will keep going higher based on volume and charts? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, well, the thing about FUN is like, if you look at the FUN chart, it's basically the DWAC chart. They're basically the same chart. So, yeah, I think if DWAC keeps moving up, PHUN will move up. I think that's just kind of a given. That's how they've tended to trade over the past bit. So, yeah, I do think that they'll likely continue to trade in sympathy with each other. Although FUN, I believe, isn't confirmed to be connected to this company. I think it's just a rumor, but it's a highly likely rumor. And to be fair, it's a lower market cap than DWAC. Let me pull that up for you guys. It's a lower market cap, so there is the potential that it could be doing better. PHUN. Look that up on Yahoo Finance, find the market cap. So we've got both of them right here. Here's DWAC. You see it has about a $4 billion market cap. PHUN has a $787 million market cap. So much lower on PHUN, but also it's only been rumored to be tied to the company that Trump is going to be making. So not guaranteed that it will be part of that organization. And also, the fact that it is not literally the company Trump is starting is less bullish for it than DWAC. I think the DWAC, the fact that people can be part owners with Trump is going to be very appealing to them, that he literally will be owning shares of this. I think a lot of people are interested in that and are buying it for that reason. So Shadow Love, scratch my head. What? Maybe you're gone already. Hope my stock picking goes better. I don't know. I think that what happened is Shadow Love may have just gotten caught back in the near the end of the stream or something, and wasn't watching it live anymore. Do you think PHUN will keep going higher based on volume and charts? Oh, that's what we were talking about. So yeah, I think that if DWAC keeps moving higher, PHUN will likely move higher as well. But we'll really have to watch. We'll really have to watch it closely and see if there is a disconnect from DWAC, because if there is, it could indicate that maybe some news or leak has come out that they aren't actually involved with the Trump media company, which would be bad. We do not want to see that. All right. And are there any stocks that you guys would like to see on the other two charts on the bottom? I know we can't really see the bottom right too well because my face is covering it, but on the bottom left we have BBIG. You guys content with that? Would you prefer, some other company? Anything else you guys are interested in today we can talk about? And Ninda Panda, is this tweet legit? Which tweet are you talking about? I'm curious. Which tweet is being discussed? Prague. All right, Jason says Prague. Let's look at Prague. There we go. Okay. Interesting. All right, so we haven't dipped back down. We're still up 15% on the day. That's looking good. We didn't make new highs, but we are kind of consolidating in a similar range to where we were. Let's draw another one of these rectangles and see. Kind of similar to where we were. Not exactly. Yeah, okay. So 280 is likely going to be the support for us now. And maybe 320 is where we'll be hoping to burst out of, right? That's where we got stopped. I guess we can get rid of this. Hopefully it's not too relevant anymore, right? Hopefully we don't go that low again. And we'll take a look at the short interest on Prague. It's always good to see. Okay. 67%. So, yep, it's just been climbing and climbing. This is the same story as BBIG. It just keeps getting crushed by shorts. Shorts keep piling on and on. However, Prague has been able to withstand it, right? We're near all-time highs. BBIG, on the other hand, has been just getting demolished. So, yeah, Blue says Prague as well. Thanks, but Jason says, yep, sure thing, man. So yeah, despite short's best attempts, even though we have a 2.35% increase today, Prague is still in the green. That's good. Let's see if is there any news coming out for Prague? I guess it's just off the patents that came out a while ago. 10:38. What time did this start pumping? I'm curious. Whoops. When did Prague go up? Yeah, 10:30. Interesting. Okay, so it got halted, actually. Geez, the halts. The halts have been killing us. Look at this. You can see, yeah, it was pumping up big, looking like it would make new highs. It got stopped, right? We had 3.5 million volume on that candle right there. Then 700,000 right here before it got halted. And then 5 minutes later, opened back up, big red candle. Yeah, the halts really destroy people. They destroy these stocks. And it seems like they're doing it on purpose. I don't know who I guess they're protecting the shorts in this situation. You can see 67% of the shorts free floated. Utilization is at 99.89. So there's basically no shares left to short. Very few, at least. So, yeah, they've been busy shorting Prague. Guanosaurus says, so how do you think DWAC will close at? Over 120 or under 110? Great stream, by the way. Thank you. And let's take a look. Over 120 or under 110? What if I think it's going to close in between 110 and 120? No, I don't know. I think that it's going to close above 100. But, yeah, I'd have to say probably then over 120 just because that gives you all of this range. Like, I think this thing is closing above 100, and I think it gives you all this play, 120 to 175 potentially, maybe even above that. And, if I'm going to say below 110, then I'm guessing that it's going to end below 100 and 110. That doesn't seem very likely to me. So, yeah, maybe it'll close right at 100. That's a really key level, $100 for the stock. Kind of symbolic. So, yeah, no, I think above 120 if I had to say above 120 or below 110. But that's just a guess. It's just my opinion, right? No one can actually say. If I could tell where it was going to close, then I would either be selling all my shares if it was going to close lower than where it's at, or buying a lot more shares if it was going to, if I knew. So no one can actually tell, but that's just my best guess. All right. And Foon, it looks like we're still just trading in sympathy with DWAC. Blue Sit says large November call options purchased today, 42K at 3 to 350, likely for Prague you're talking about. Let's take a look at Prague options. Let's go here. We'll get rid of the charts for just a second. Yeah, that's fine. We can do this. So what strike date? November. All right. And he said the 3 to 350. Yeah. So yeah, 22,000 volume here, 20,000 volume there. A lot of open interest call options for those strike prices. Yeah. If we did see Prague move above 3, that would be really good. Even better if it moved above 350. That was getting very close. Maybe that's why the market makers had to put a stop on it. Because a halt on it rather. Or was it? It was this that they put a halt on. Yeah, right here. Because if this thing kept pumping up above 350, that could really have screwed out whoever sold those call options. They'd have had to start buying up shares to cover. Yeah, well, thank you, Blue Sit, for pointing that out. Yeah, so Prague is one to look at. Obviously, when you see big options order inflow, there's the potential that someone knows something that we don't. Something big could be going down, but it also creates the potential for a gamma squeeze. So that's something else to consider. 10:30 happened. Yeah. And oftentimes it does create a lot of buying pressure. Obviously, we were already running up leading into 10:30, but it probably helped to continue the rally a little bit in the next bar before we got halted. That's the lesson of today. We get halted and stocks drop. Halts are not good for stocks. Typically, in the past when I've seen them, they have been good because they've been halting stocks that have been moving down. Like the S&P, if it's crashing, they'll halt it, and that'll sometimes save it. But, the last time I really witnessed that was, I guess I've probably witnessed halts in the recent past. They're just not as memorable as this. I tended to not have anything invested in the stocks that were getting halted, fortunately. This time I do, and the S&P I did as well. So when I watched the halts then, during COVID, when that first started hitting, I was very glad that they would halt it and stop all the downward selling pressure. But holy cow, these moves, Mecha Bender says. Yeah, they've been significant today. I mean, even these moves that we're experiencing right now are fairly significant, right? This thing is moving in a single minute from 97 to $1.01. So $4 in a single move. That's several percentage points every minute. It moved down from $1.01 to 97 the minute before. We're just seeing big bars with DWAC, but they all look dwarfed compared to these initial bars that we saw when it was moving from 118 to 131 and then jumped to 157, moved to 175, or rather the opposite of that, jumped to 175 and moved down to 157. So, yeah, we've seen some crazy action today. Not to be, not that it's unexpected after what happened yesterday and in after hours and pre-market. We saw this coming. We knew this was coming. lot of volume on DWAC, especially before the halts. We saw a lot. 3 million on the first minute. And I believe it was halted the first minute, too. It was already running up quite a bit. At 9:30, I think they stopped it short. And then 10 o'clock opened it back up. So who knows how many we would have gotten on that first minute if this thing hadn't gotten halted. And after a halt, I think that a lot of the orders tend to be put on hold. People don't actually end up executing them. They maybe cancel them just because the stock is a lot more risky at that point when it's been halted. And as you saw, the halts did cause a bit of a crash, likely because of that self-fulfilling prophecy. So large call activity causes market maker to purchase shares because they are short the calls that they sold to buyer. Yes, that's the gamma squeeze. Yep. Good job, Blue Sit. Yeah, I'm hopeful for that. I think that, right now all of those calls look out of the money because we are below 3 and 350. But if we could see another pump up and get especially those 350 ones in the money, November 19th is still a ways away. So it might be a while before the real buying pressure sets in. But yeah, I think that would be good to see. That would be good to see. All right, we've got 188 viewers. Let's see if we can get this thing to 235 likes. We only need 11 more likes to do that. We're at 224 right now. Let's see if we can get to 235. So only 11 people who haven't liked the stream yet need to do it to get us there. 226, we could get more people involved in this stream. The more likes we have, the more people watching, the more people commenting, the more conversation. We've got 231. We're very close. We only need 4 more. So 238, there we go. We beat it. Nice. Good job, guys. Much appreciated. Hopefully we'll start seeing some new faces in here. 242, you guys are doing better than I thought. Very nice. So, good job on that. Hopefully we'll start to see some new faces. Guanosaurus, BRB going to make another account to help you lot. Thanks, man. I actually have like 8 Google accounts. I should really bring them all in and just like the stream. I do it for the emails, though, because every now and then you need to sign up for a weird website. And you just don't want to give them your real email because they'll spam you. So I always just make a fake email, typically Gmail, and end up just adding them to my phone. So now I have like 8 of them all signed in. So I really should bring those into like the stream. Yeah, not a bad idea. Let's see. I'm curious if we've gained any subscribers, or if this is. Are you guys mostly subscribers, or has this been getting put out to new people? I'm curious. I'll have to see. How can I view the subscriber count? I think. Let me check this. Subscribers, lifetime. So no, we've probably gained some significant subscribers from this. Yeah, I would say maybe 100 new people subscribed to the channel because of this. I'm a new people, Mecha Bender says. Well, thank you very much, Mecha Bender. Thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated. Yeah, no, this stream has gone very well. We've gotten a lot of interest in it. I think people said that they would like to see more of these streams, so I'll likely be doing these most mornings, most weekday mornings, right, when the markets are open, not on holidays and all that. But weekday mornings, I could see myself doing this from maybe 9:30 to 12 or 12:30, depending on how active the market is. Guanosaurus says, I actually did follow you. Don't know how, lol, but you came up on my recommended and so happy for that. Well, thank you very much. I'm happy for that as well. And Delayed Noise says, I also am a new people. Yes. And Blue Sit says subscribed. So I'm guessing that means subscribe for a while. Snowdrift says subscribe today, but I've been listening for about 2 months. Wow. And you haven't subscribed yet. It was just because you needed to subscribe to say stuff in the chat, huh? All right, Snowdrift. I see how it is. D. Bennett says, I'm new. All right, well, nice to see all the new faces here then. That's cool, guys. Could you take a stream or talk about NVAX one day? What is that? Let's see. NVAX. Novak. Oh, yeah, I've heard of this. Let's see. Yeah, no, I can definitely talk about this. I don't know much about it right now, though. And it looks like they've got an earnings call coming up, so someday I will. I will do this. I'll try sometime next week. If you remind me in the comments sometime, I will look into that. If you're in the live stream, we'll ask about it then. But we're getting towards the end of this stream. I'm still thinking about nursing my throat for the rest of the day. It's still getting a little sore from all this talking. Even the gum, it's only able to do so much. What about Lucid today? Says John Stewart. And thank you for the stream. DWAC is still very early, says Victory Investments. Yeah, I think so. I think we are still very early, the first 2 days of trading. And John Stewart for Lucid. Let's see. John Stewart, Lucid. All right, let's look at Lucid for a second, because I have been keeping up with Lucid. I think I did end up exiting my swing position when it was at 25. Yeah, so I exited my swing, realizing that we had the potential to, start bouncing back down. If we look at a longer time frame, it'll make more sense. But I'd been covering this for a while, way back when it started dumping, based off of the PIPE investor release, the private investment in public equity release. This dumped way back when. That's when I started covering it, I believe. And we were on a big rally all the way to 28, where we had a long-term resistance level that you see here. We tried to break past several times, so it was no surprise when this time we tried to break through it, and we couldn't, after seeing, it struggled a couple of days prior, and more recently we couldn't break through it. So what I ended up doing with my Lucid trade was seeing this bounce. I bought in around 24 for a swing, because 24 was also a potential level of support, held through it, held through the dip into this 22. I knew that it had the potential to dip down to 22, looking at the long term. But I held through that, sold out at 25, and now I'm waiting for another buying opportunity. I do still hold some Lucid shares in the long-term account, though, that aren't for trading. They're just they're not a swing, they're nothing like that. It's just a long-term investment. I believe I hold some Lucid shares in there, so I'm still holding Lucid. Victory Investment says, just subscribe. Nice. Thank you very much. Okay, and D. Bennett says, final word on Dwac, so I can sleep tonight. Final word on Dwac. I'm holding it. I'm going to hold this for a bit. I think that we're going to see probably some upwards momentum throughout the rest of the day. Hopefully, right? Obviously, anything can happen, but I think we'll see upwards momentum the rest of the day. After the weekend, I think it'll still just be good news. And Guanosaurus says, have to go. Thank you so much for the stream. See you on the next. Take care. Big bear hug from Norway. Wow, from Norway. Very cool. All right, well, I'll see you later, Guanosaurus. Have a good one. I'll probably be exiting the stream somewhat soon, too. It's probably time to end it. Big fan of these live streams, my guy. You have some of the most clear and concise stock analysis on YouTube, says Christian Sharkey. Thank you very much. I do my best. Mecha Bender says, I'm going to hodl and pray I get picked up, of course. Lol. Thoughts on AQST? Man, LOL says this. All right, LOL. What's the deal with AQST? So many people have been asking about AQST on the channel. It's crazy. So many people. Crazy amounts of people asking about AQST. I don't know what the deal is with it. Why are there so many people asking about it? That's what I'm curious about. Why are so many people asking about AQST? Yeah. Sea Cargo. Did you give your analysis on CLF? No, I did not. I don't know what CLF is. We'll have to save that for the next stream. DWAC is a hold. This thing is just getting started. Imagine when Truth Social rolls out. That's what I'm saying, guys. I think DWAC has a lot to go. And what's my price target? I assume you mean for DWAC. I think we could get to 500. And 1,000 isn't out of the question, right? Obviously, that sounds really far-fetched and bullish, but back when this thing was 10, 100 sounded out of the question and bullish. So I think that we still have a lot of room to run. It's still a relatively small market cap if you look. We'll refresh the page. About $4 billion, $3.8 billion market cap. So there's still a lot of room that this could run. It could 10x and get to a $40 billion market cap on this hype. Dogecoin did it. Dogecoin did a lot better than that. The Pop Shop. What platforms let you trade pre and post market? I will show you what platforms let you trade pre and post market. First is Webull, and if you sign up for Webull using the link in the description, you get 2 free stocks. That lets you trade pre and post market. Second, M1 Finance. I don't think it lets you do that, but you do get a free $30 if you sign up for their brokerage. Public, I'm not so sure about. But Robinhood also lets you trade pre and post market, and you get up to $500 if you join with Robinhood when you sign up using the link in the description of this live stream. So there are opportunities to get free stocks and to get and to trade pre and post market if that's what you're interested in. The Pop Shop. All right, and PHUN. We'll get rid of the loose chart. We'll talk about PHUN again. Which actually, no, we won't talk about PHUN again. We'll start winding down the stream because I am getting very tired and I have missed lunch. Typically, I have lunch at 12. So thank you guys for watching. You know, this was a fun stream. I'll definitely be doing this on weekdays. You know, any day that the market's open, I'll try and do a live stream from around 9:30 to 12:30. That'll be my goal. Maybe they'll go longer if we have interesting days like today. Big stocks, hot stocks. I'll keep making my daily videos. So if you've enjoyed, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this stuff. Other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. I'm not entirely sure how to end the stream, so I'm pretty sure I just have to click end right here. But enjoy. I'll see you guys all hopefully Monday. So tune in for that. Later, guys. There we go.